Was that fun or what, man? Blazers take care of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know what the final score is, but anyway, welcome to the Uprise Postgame show. What a fun, phenomenal game by the Portland Trail Blazers. Carmelo Anthony has been exactly what this team needed. I'll have a video coming up about Melo's impact on the Blazers, which has been huge. It has been phenomenal. Carmelo Anthony is playing great. He's proving everybody wrong, including me, who said before this season that Carmelo Anthony was probably never going to be the answer for any NBA team for the rest of his career. I was 100% wrong, because he has been the answer for the Portland Trail Blazers. He has been phenomenal. We'll probably get Eric on here. I got to hit him up. Shout out to Elias for the $5 donation. Damn, Melo 9 for 11 from the field. And that was Melo's most efficient game of his career, in which he shot more than 10 shots. Shout out to Dan Meringue for that stat. Believe it or not, shout out to Dan Meringue for that stat. But super efficient night from Melo. He's moving the ball well. He's playing within the offense. He's playing solid defense. Dude is proving the entire NBA wrong. He's proving me wrong. He is revitalized. He looks great. He looks like an all-star caliber player. Melo has been a lot of fun to watch so far this season. Dude is absolutely crushing it, and he's been a big reason why Portland has had 2 straight blowout wins. I'm feeling very optimistic right now. I'm feeling very good. I'm very hyped. This is going to be a fun post-game show. I'm looking forward to chilling with you guys for a little bit. Eric, I'm going to open up Skype right now. Stream may lag a little bit because I'm opening up Skype, but Eric, send me a call. We'll get Eric on here for you guys, and we'll hit this up. I did not want Skype open on this window. Let's do it like that. All right, I'm going to call Eric right now, actually. Here we go. Apologize for the lag. It's going to lag, though. I just got to send him this call. Eric, be ready, bro. Here you go. Calling you right now. Nope, y'all don't want to hear that. There we go. So yeah, I'll take your questions. I'll talk about this game. I'll talk about how we're playing a good brand of basketball right now, man. I'm trying a new setup with my chat up on the screen. Eric, you gotta answer, my dude. Where's Eric? Everybody, where's Eric, bro? There's Eric. All right, hold up. I can't hear you yet. Got to plug in the headphones. I'm scrambling here. All right, well, we got Eric on air, so hopefully this will stop lagging now. I have my chat on the TV instead of the phone. Hopefully the stream will still be smooth. It should be smooth now. We should be good to go right now. Who's the hater in the chat? Should be good now. You guys should be good now. We should be completely fine. Should be good to go. If not, I'll have to I'll have to disconnect this this screen. But we should be good now. We should be good to go. Oh yeah, Eric, man. I got you. No, I had my computer muted. I forgot I even brought you on the line, bro. I had my computer muted, so I wasn't even hearing anything you were saying. I was just worried about the line. Yeah, bro. Let's hop straight into this thing, because this was a lot of fun. This was more fun than the Chicago game. The Chicago game was the funnest game of the season. Now it's been replaced by this absolute drubbing of the Oklahoma City Thunder. We crushed them, man. We have destroyed that franchise. Dame's destroyed that franchise. Now even Melo is destroying that franchise. This is the type of game I've been waiting all season for. You know, we had it with the Chicago Bulls, and now 2 games in a row. We've moved the ball well. We've played good defense. We've rebounded really well. I don't even know where you want to start. I mean, we got to start with Melo, right?
Dude, the starting lineup looks great right now.
Yeah.
And Melo's a big part of that. You can tell, I think the first play of the game, they tried to run him. They actually set a cross screen for him, like what you've been calling for all season. So that was great to see. And the ball just, everyone in the starting lineup was like trying to get other people involved, you know? And that was great to see. Like, no one was looking to shoot, really. Even guys like Hood, for how efficient he is, he rarely passes the ball. But, like, even he was looking to pass tonight, and it was really cool to see all that.
Yeah, for sure. What the hell just happened to your... All of a sudden, it sounded like you got a blow dryer or something. I don't know. Yeah, dude, the extra pass was being made. The... Nas, like, this is just one play, but this was an example of the type of play the Blazers weren't making earlier on this season. There was a play where Nas caught the ball in the corner and he had an open 3 and he passed it up, made the extra pass to Rodney Hood, who stepped in for 3, and he knocked down a 3. And Nas definitely could have shot that shot. He was open. He likes shooting those corner threes, but he gave it up to a better 3-point shooter. Rodney Hood likes stepping into his left like that. Hopefully you guys know what play I'm talking about, but you're just making the extra pass, Rodney Hood knocking down the 3. When the ball touches multiple players' hands, they get more in rhythm together. They get a better feeling. And I mean, dude, the way we started off that game, man, the way we started off that game was insane. We had, in our first 11 possessions on offense, we had 11 field goals made. We had 11 buckets. Whiteside was hit 9 assists. Whiteside's hitting jumpers. Melo, I think he had a drive in that stretch. CJ McCollum hit 2 threes. Rodney hit a couple threes. Like, that looked like a top 3 NBA offense, man. And I know it's against Oklahoma City Thunder, who is not a good. It's not a good team. You know, they're not impressive. But the way we were shooting the ball, the way we were playing offense was really, really promising. Because for us, for the Portland Trail Blazers, it hasn't been, oh, what level of play are we playing against? So this is kind of directed at Tim Wilson. 2 wins against 2 bad teams. Don't get too excited yet. We were losing against these teams. We lost to what did he say? Well, let me. Yeah. But all right, hit me. That is the dumbest thing I've heard in a while, man. That is dumb, bro. You're gonna say that the dude is a failed experiment after he drops 9 for 11? Really? After he drops 9 for 11, most efficient scoring night in his career when he shot more than 10 shots. That's 2 games in a row. He shot over 50% and been stellar for them. He's also helped their style of play a lot. They're moving the ball a lot better now. He's been solid defensively. He's been killing it. Past 2 games, he finally got a rhythm, and he's been a perfect fit. And you're gonna come over here and troll, man. Like, if you're gonna troll, at least be smart with it. That just makes you sound a bit dumb trying to say Melo is a failed experiment after these past 2 games. I muted you because your kid started sounding like. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Just if you're a kid or daughter or something, I'll let you handle muting your mic and whatnot.
They're both in bed now.
Okay, I just heard like screaming, and I just
all I did was read that garbage take by Tim Wilson.
Yeah, he read the garbage take about Tim Wilson, so they ain't hear that. But here you go, you guys got Eric. You guys are I see chat freaking out.
And dude, I could maybe understand that take before Melo played his first game, but like he's been fine. He's not a failed experiment yet. And I mean, if you want to say.
I said it will be a failed experiment. experiment, that doesn't matter, bro. The point still stands, but we're not gonna get into it with the troll. If he keeps trolling, we can ban him, or if he's entertaining you guys can be entertained. But saying he's gonna be a failed experiment after these past 2 games, there's nothing to say he'll be a failed experiment, because right now the experiment is a resounding success, much more successful than I thought. Melo has been phenomenal the past couple games. This offense now has 4 legit players that can get to the rim, shoot well from mid-range, and shoot well from 3. That's never been the case for Damian Lillard in his career. He's never had a group like this. Like, all 4 of those guys can create their own shots. If they get a mismatch on one of them, they got good floor spacing because all 4 of them can shoot. And if one has a mismatch, they can abuse that mismatch by taking advantage of the spacing. And then you got Hassan Whiteside, who's playing really well right now. He started off great. He's finishing well. He's a great lob target. When you got that much space to run pick and roll with Dame and Whiteside, it's hard to guard both those guys. Dame is so lethal as a scorer and a facilitator off the pick and roll, and Whiteside's so big, can finish really well. Melo helps them in that regard because he's a good shooter from the corners. He's a guy that you have to get out on his three-point shot, but then he's able to take advantage of that. And the thing is, he's actually moved the ball well. He has not been a ball stopper. I was like, okay, he's gonna, we're just gonna run even more iso ball. You know what I mean? Like, what my reaction when we got Melo was like, okay, we're an isolation heavy offense. We're just gonna completely embrace that and run a ton of isolation. And Melo's just gonna be a part of that. Melo's come in and helped our ball movement, dude. We've been zipping the ball around. We've been making the extra pass. We haven't been settling for bad shots. Our shot selection's so much better. Our offense is so much more deliberate. Everybody's touching the ball, and we're making more jumpers because of it. You know what I mean? Because everybody's feeling good. Everybody's feeling like they're a part of the same group. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting around watching one guy go, one on one, 1-on-2, 1-on-3. So.
And this was our point all along, is it's not necessarily that the shots went in the first quarter. It was the way they were playing. And, like, everyone was being unselfish. No one was just dribbling for more than a second. If you didn't have a shot, you passed to someone else. You were looking for people instead of looking for your shot. And that kind of basketball leads to success as a team versus individual success. You can still have success as a team if someone gets hot playing the other way, but this is a much more sustainable type of playing basketball that will lead to getting back into playoff contention.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna take the headphones out. It's hot in here, man. I gotta take off the sweatshirt.
So there's 2 things. If you wanted to say Melo was going to be a failed experiment or still could, one would be his. He's been known in the past as being sort of a ball stopper, which he has not been at all so far. He's been looking to pass. And then 2 would be his defense. And his defense has actually been decent. Like, it's not bad. He's not getting burnt on defense at all. He's communicating, and it almost is helping the defense to have a veteran out there that knows the game. And so unless those 2 things change at some point, I don't think this experiment's going to be bad. There's going to be games where he doesn't make a lot of shots, and he maybe shoots 15 times and only hits 4 or 5 of them. But it's not a failed experiment, man. He's like a perfect fit. He's exactly what we needed right now. And then with Dame and Whiteside getting healthy as well, like, we just have a great mix in our starting lineup right now.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, like, Rodney Hood is a guy who doesn't get enough attention across the league. This dude has been phenomenal. I need to look up the box score. We'll go over the stats, but I believe he only missed 1 shot.
6 shots.
Only shot 6 shots, but made, 5 of them?
Yeah. 5 or 6.
Dude needs more shots, okay? That's a thing. You know what I mean? It's a good problem to have when you got a guy who's as efficient as he is and not getting enough shots. You know what I mean? Like, you want to get him more shots, but it's like, dude's been so efficient like that. It's like a pro. I don't know. I'm trying to word this right. It's not like a problem, you know what I mean? Because it's not hurting the team. It's like, this dude has been so good. We need to utilize him even more. But we have a plethora of weapons right now, a plethora of offensive weapons, more offensive weapons than Dame has had in his career. Our defense, I thought was really, really solid tonight. Fouled a lot, which has been a problem throughout the season. But when we weren't fouling, we were playing very, very solid. We were scrambling a lot better. We were rotating a lot better. We weren't getting caught up with two guys on one and leaving somebody else open. We played a really good defensive game. Like, and Melo's been a part of that too. Melo's played defense with energy. He had a couple closeouts where he closed out really well on shooters, ran Gallinari off the 3-point line, and OKC didn't end up scoring. Like, Melo's defense has been quietly impressive in a way, because, you know what I mean? He's not going to stand out. He's not going to make a highlight block like a Bazemore had tonight. He's not going to, he's not easy to notice on that end, but that's a good thing, you know what I mean? Because he's known as a bad defender, but he's been good, he's been serviceable, he's been helpful on that end. So yeah, man, I love what I've seen from Carmelo Anthony. I don't even know if my most optimistic hope wasn't even him being this good this early on in the season. I didn't think there was any chance he'd move the ball like this. I didn't think there was any chance that he'd defend this well. I didn't think there's any chance he'd be dropping 9 for 11, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was hoping. I mean, I was a little more excited about it from earlier than they signed him than you were. But I was hoping he would come in with something to prove and want to prove that he still belongs in the league. And to Tim Wilson saying again that his biggest fear is that he'll go back to his old ways after a while if he starts having success like this. I mean,
there's no reason to be fearful. Whatever happens, happens. Like, as I said, it's easiest to enjoy this team if you take things one game at a time. If you don't get caught up in, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? If you don't get caught up in, oh, what is our record right now? We're still not in playoff position right now. Enjoy these games, man. Enjoy these games. You had a future Hall of Famer who is on a redemption tour with the Portland Trailblazers, who literally just signed with Portland, literally playing his first game in Portland, and dude goes off, has the most efficient night of his career, shooting 10 shots or more, and Blazer fans are chanting his name. His name's ringing out around the Moda Center. Like, enjoy that in a 30-point blowout. Enjoy that. The team was clicking on all cylinders. Shout out Austin Wack for the $5 donation. Merry Christmas. Shout out to Austin Wack. The stream is a little bit delayed. I didn't set the latency to ultra low latency. It's at normal latency, so it is about a minute behind. But yeah.
Are you on your normal camera, or is it on your laptop camera?
I'm on my normal camera.
It seems like weird angle than normal.
I have my TV. Normally I set it on the shelf, which is just slightly lower than the top of my TV, but I have it on the top of my TV. So, worse angle or better angle or what? Is this my good angle? Like, we had a good degree here?
It just seems like it's like closer to you and the wall and stuff.
It's a little closer to me. It's a little closer to me, but yeah.
Better or worse. And then one thing about Melo is, like he said after the last game, this isn't a farewell tour for him. Yeah. He actually is. He's only 35 years old. He's trying to play.
It's more of a redemption.
He wants to stay in the league. Yeah. Like, he doesn't want to just play the rest of the season for Portland or a few games here and then get cut and then not play again. He's trying to make it so he gets picked up on a contract next year, whether that be from us or someone else. So he's not going to go back to his old ways anytime soon.
Yeah. He's buying into playing a better brand of basketball. And his trainer was talking about that. During his time off, they focused on working on his game to the point where he would make quicker moves, not stop the ball. He'd either catch and shoot, catch and make a quick move, or keep moving the ball. I'm hearing myself echo on your end.
Hold on. Earphones came out.
Gotcha. But he worked on that. You know what I mean? He knows. He's a smart player. Melo's a smart player, man. Melo has a basketball IQ, okay? Just because he's played kind of an isolation-heavy style of ball doesn't mean that he can't adjust and play a different brand of ball, especially after being out of the league for a year where he had to change his perspective on the game. He had to refocus into being more of a team player and not, the guy from Denver with cornrows that was dropping 30 a night and dominating the ball and his teammates didn't touch the ball. Like, he's not that guy. He knows that. So that's the thing. He worked on that. His trainer talked about him working on that, and it shows. Trainer talked about him working on defense as well, and he's had good defensive technique. I think his closeouts were sound. Like he's played smart defense. So shout out Jason Lee, $2 donation. Melo's risk is out the window with this contract, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like we could still be playing Anthony Tolliver right now. We could still be playing Mario Hezonja right now. Carmelo is so much better, man. I wish we had Carmelo at the start of the season because I think we'd be 500, maybe even above 500 right now. He is so much better than the options that we had. Even if he went back to playing, isolation, ball stopping style of basketball, he'd still be a much better option than Tolliver and Mario Hezonja. So there's literally nothing to worry about in regards to Carmelo Anthony. You see Mario and Tolliver in garbage time, I'm starting to kind of forget how bad these guys were. And then I saw them in garbage time. It's like, wow, just the comparison. Melo killing it this game, and then Mario and Tolliver in garbage time was like, wow. The difference is so monumental. So monumental.
Tolliver almost broke the backboard on one of those threes.
I tweeted out, I said, I'd rather see Moses Brown shoot threes than Anthony Tolliver. Moses' form is so ugly from the free throw line, but I should be out there shooting those Tolliver threes, man. I have as much confidence in me making an NBA three-pointer out there than Anthony Tolliver. I mean, give me those shots. I think I could shoot the percentage that Anthony Tolliver does. I mean, and I'm not trying to be negative or bag on anybody, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just saying Carmelo Anthony's a lot better player, so there's no reason to worry about Melo. Melo's been phenomenal. I will be dropping Melo hoodies in the next probably 2 weeks. 2 weeks is what I'm hoping for. I'm working on designs. I'll have you guys vote on the design you want the most, and I'll give you Melo merch. These Melo performances probably gonna help me sell a few more of those hoodies, but yeah, for sure. Shout out Cody Murray. Tolliver and Hezonja gotta go. I don't think they gotta go. They just gotta not play. Unless it's in garbage time. I'm fine. They're not as fun as a Myers Leonard victory cigar, hitting threes and flexing and all that. They're not as fun as garbage players as like a Myers. But they don't gotta go. They just shouldn't be in the rotation for a contending team, and that's what I said when they got signed, is we shouldn't be relying on either of these guys to have an impact if we're really trying to be a good NBA team.
And we talked about this a lot, but if you use both Tolliver and Hezonja as in a Rodney Hood type trade from last year, we could get another player to come off the bench that could help this team be even better this year. And that's not even including if you made a big move with the Bazemore and Whiteside contracts after we get guys healthy. So I'm still hopeful that a move like that will happen starting sometime after December 15th when they're tradable.
Yeah. It's possible. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, we don't really have a weak spot in the rotation right now. We can improve the rotation, but Kent Bazemore has improved the past couple of games. His defense tonight was good. He had a couple defensive highlights. He had that block, and then he broke up that alley-oop, which led to that Simons dunk on the fast break off a really nice bounce pass from McCollum. Let's give a shout-out to CJ for that bounce pass that he had to Simons. That was maybe CJ's best pass of the season. But that's what I'm talking about. Bazemore's improved. His defense has gotten a little bit better in the past couple games, but he's not forcing bad shots. I think the coaching staff probably got on him for his shot selection because he's a different player offensively. He's not forcing bad shots. In garbage time, he kind of had a layup that he missed pretty badly, but he was 0 for 5. One or two of those shots were in garbage time, but he had 10 rebounds in 21 minutes, 4 assists, and played good defense. That's what we need at Kent Bazemore. Not where he's shooting 8 shots in 16 minutes, and a bunch of them are pull-up fadeaway threes, kind of breaking up the confidence of the entire offense. So Bazemore's improved. And I just referenced that McCollum pass too. McCollum's passing has improved. This is a third straight game with 4 or more assists. Maybe 4th straight game with 4 or more assists. So his passing's improved too.
We talk about this with CJ all the time with his passing. Bazemore has the skills to use his playmaking for setting up others instead of taking those bad shots. Mm-hmm. And he had one tonight where I think it was the dump off pass to Little, where Little finished, even though Noel came over in time. And plays like that are great if he does that more often, instead of like pulling up from 10 feet there. You know what I mean? So like the more he does that, the more useful he'll be, considering how good he is on defense. He had a couple of really nice blocks tonight.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like, that's the thing, is people are stepping up, looking more comfortable in their roles and playing to their strengths more than they have in the past. And, you know, you got Whiteside improving. Whiteside, 21 points, 16 rebounds tonight, finishing well. You had Rodney Hood throw Whiteside a lob, so we've seen a couple more lobs the past 2, 3, 4 games. Even Rodney Hood got on the action with a great lob pass to Whiteside, who finished with an and one. Rodney could have forced, you know, a 10-foot floater off the backboard, but he made that extra pass that I'm talking about, and Whiteside got, you know, a layup from a foot away and got an and one foul. Whiteside's free throws too, man. Whiteside was 5 for 5 from the free throw line. I believe he's shooting over 80% from the free throw line. His free throws have
been insane.
Like, he shot 45% last year.
Well, he's hitting jumpers too,
dude. Like, his shot looks solid. Like, honestly, man, you might be able to extrapolate that out to the 3-point line in the next couple years if you're Hassan Whiteside, because he made some form changes this season. Bringing the ball more in front, because he kind of would cock it back too much, and he also like said he had his hand like on top of the ball too much. Now he kind of got it down to here, so he was like cocking it back behind his head with his hand on top of the ball, so there was a lot of tension and interference with his left hand. Now he has it more in front and has left hand on the side of the ball, so there's less interference from his left hand, less tension in his shoulder, and it shows. His free throws look so much better than they did last year. Go look at his free throws last year. He had a weird little like step into his free throw shot, and it looked so bad. And this year his form looks smooth, his form looks solid. And if you're Whiteside, man, that might be your way to stay in the league, is to start hitting 3-point shots, because he's been good from mid-range. He's been a solid shooter. I'm going to look up his season stats right now, because I am curious what he's shooting from the free throw line right now.
Yeah, the only thing, sometimes when he rushes it, it's a little flat. Not his free throws, his jump shot. But if he can just get a little more arc on it, it looks like he could extend that out easily, because it doesn't seem like he's pushing it too hard.
It's hard to shoot the ball when your hands are that big and when you're 7 feet tall, a legit 7 feet like he is. Myers makes it look easy, but Myers is a freak of nature in that regard. But yeah, so from the free throw line, he's 47 for 59 after this game. 47 divided by 59. He's shooting 79.7% from the free throw line. So like that's been huge, man. His free throw shooting has been huge. So, but just all around, this team is just playing a much better brand of basketball. This is why we were so hard on this team, because like, yes, Melo helps them play this brand of basketball, but it's more than just that. It's more than just Melo. Melo's helped them, but it's more than just Melo, man. It's CJ's doing a better job of making the right pass, even though he has flashes. He had a couple floaters he shot tonight where he could have lobbed it straight to Whiteside for a dunk, and he's shooting a floater instead. Missed a couple of them. They were like back-to-back possessions, I think.
There was one possession in the second half where the
isolation against Gallinari was brutal.
Was gonna shoot a three, and then he tried to pump fake, didn't get it. Tried to pump fake again, didn't get it, and then passed it, got it right back, and then did the same thing for another 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and it's
he
like,
still has
dude,
his
come
flashes,
on.
but I think his passing has been better. He's made better passes, and he's made the right decision more often than he was. Yeah, more often than he was earlier this season. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, you can find improvement with everybody. Dame, I'm very encouraged by how Dame can play within this offense. Dame's shots he got tonight were easy.
Yeah. Dame Dollar wants us to talk about Dame.
Dame's shots he got tonight were much easier than the shots he got earlier this season. Dame's he'll still force, a deep three like once a game, and he hasn't really been hitting deep threes this year like he did last year. But with how much space he has, he doesn't have to force shots with how many offensive weapons he has around him. And when he drives, he's not driving into 3 guys like he did last year, like he did at the start of this season. So he's not taking a bunch of hits. He's not hitting the floor as much the past couple games with the spacing around him. He started off the game with at one point he had 5 points, 5 assists. He only finished with 5 assists, but like he was distributing well, and 5 assists, I think, halfway through the first quarter, and then that forced Oklahoma City to respect the people around Dame, and it made things a lot easier on Dame. He got good shots. He got a lot of open threes. It was just, that's the thing, is Dame's not going to get worn down in games like tonight. One, because
29 minutes.
Yeah, one, because it's a blowout, but two, because he's not really having to put the team on his back and shoulder the entire load. He can take possessions off when you throw it into Carmelo Anthony in the face-up game and he isos, like there's kind of a bad connotation with like isolations, but like some isolations are good. You got a mismatch, iso. Melo's hot, let him go to work.
Right.
And Dame can take a possession off, just, throw it into Melo. Dame doesn't have to do anything. He can kind of rest that possession. Yeah. So
there's a big difference between isoing someone in the post, especially when they set a pick and have a smaller guy on them, versus someone just dribbling up the court and not passing once and just going iso for 10 seconds and then taking a shot. There's two distinct iso plays there. But yeah, we have two guys in particular, Hood and Melo, who are playing great right now, and if you can get them isolated on a smaller defender in the post, you absolutely go to that until it stops working.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing, is you got 4 guys that can take advantage of a mismatch. So if you're able to create mismatches, you have the shooting around that mismatch to allow that player to take advantage of that mismatch because he has space to do so. There was a play I noticed today, and this will segue into another one of my points, but there was a play where Rodney Hood got the rebound and he pushed the ball up the court. That's also nice. We got 4 guys that can push the ball up the court, but he pushed the ball up the court, got to kind of the free throw line. He forced Steven Adams to pick him up. That left Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on Hassan Whiteside underneath. So Rodney Hood pushed the pace, forced Steven Adams to pick him up, or else Rodney Hood would have had a lay-in. So then he backed it out. Steven Adams had to go out and guard Rodney Hood. That left a guard on Hassan Whiteside. Rodney Hood passed to the corner to Bazemore, who threw it into Whiteside, and I think Whiteside got fouled on a shot or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is I really like the pace we played with tonight, and we have so many offensive threats that's like you have to guard all these guys in transition. So if you push the ball, if their defense is scrambling and they're not able to get back to their original assignments, then there's going to be a mismatch somewhere. And we got the personnel where we got 4, even 5 guys. You can count Whiteside in there because like he's big, and if he has a mismatch, he does a good job taking advantage of it. You got 5 guys on the court that can all take advantage of a mismatch, and you got 4 guys on the court that can shoot really well from 3 that you got to get out on. And then if you run them off the 3-point line, they're able to take advantage of that. So like offensively, the personnel right now, I think, is really, really good. And I think that, we still have to move the ball, still have to play a good style of basketball, still have to not regress and revert back to how we were playing earlier on this season where we were stagnant, not moving the ball, trying to run sets that weren't really working. I really like where this team was at. Where 2 games ago I was ranting about how horrible we were against the Cleveland Cavaliers losing that game. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I hope we still take advantage of those mismatches the rest of the season. And Whiteside, I feel like we're getting the ball in better positions to score than we were earlier in the season too. And that means closer to the basket with a guy sealed behind him a lot of cases. Or when he's diving on those pick and rolls, it's not from the 3-point line, it's more around the free throw line. So when he catches it, he just has to take 1 dribble or 1 step and he's at the rim, or he can do that little flip shot from 5 feet. And that's what we were talking about, is just getting him in a better position. Like, it's not the right play to have him go out 5 feet behind the 3-point line setting picks.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I just like everything they're doing. So I got to give a little bit of credit to Stotts for the way it's going right now. I just think they have a real nice mix on offense, especially, and the defense hasn't been bad. So there's nothing really to complain about other than hopefully it'll continue against good teams when they start to hit some adversity and don't have a big lead in a game.
I still think the complaints with Stotts were valid. I don't think that you need.
Yeah.
I don't think that you need freaking Carmelo Anthony in order to play this brand of basketball, even though he does help this brand of basketball. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be this night and day, but it's good that Carmelo Anthony has helped them play this style of basketball, and he certainly makes it easier too, if that makes sense.
One thing I want to say is, so he actually brought Dame out in the first quarter with like a minute 33 left. It helped that we were up by 20 at the time or something like that. But like, I just want to give him credit for actually changing the rotation a little bit. He subbed Melo and CJ out pretty early in the game, actually. And I don't know if that was the right move necessarily because everyone was on fire. Yeah. But he
subbed back in Carmelo with the bench. I noticed he took out Carmelo for a little bit and subbed it back in with the bench. I don't know if that was the first or second half, but he kind of staggered Carmelo. I think it was the first half,
and that's
which makes sense.
That was one thing in the Cleveland game that he had a time where all four of our ISO scorers, Hood, Dame, CJ, and Melo, were all on the bench, and our second unit was struggling mightily. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you need to have one of those four guys in the game at all times. So the fact that he brought those guys back in and took Dame out a little early, and then he came back in with a little over 7 minutes left, so he had almost 5 or 6 minutes of game time there, and then he didn't have to play the fourth quarter. And that's what I was talking about. Like, if you don't force him to play the first and the third quarter and get his minutes over 30 minutes before the third quarter is even over, then there's chances like this where there's a game where there's a blowout and he doesn't even have to come back in, and you can kind of load manage him by only playing 29 minutes in a game like this, and that'll be better for him long term. And then on top of that, Dame was super efficient in the minutes he did play, 27 points in 29 minutes on 15 shots. Like that's like a perfect game plan to me. And so like, I have to give Stotts credit if he does the right rotations, because I'm so bad on him.
Well, that's the thing is, like,
we
wouldn't have had to give Stotts credit for his rotations in the past because his rotations had been fine. There's a couple instances last year that I didn't really like his rotations, but for the most part, in his tenure here in Portland, his rotations, I haven't had any issues with them. So it hasn't even been something that I even like discuss. This year it was a major issue, but he's staggering the guards, which is what he should do. I like that. Staggered Dame and CJ the past couple games. Playing Melo a bit with the bench, which I like because Melo should have a good matchup and should be able to help that unit score. I would like to see Hood play with the bench a little bit too, just to get him more shots. But overall, good rotation. Labissiere played 19 minutes, backup center behind Whiteside. I mean, like, it's kind of hard to like just look at the box score and like kind of determine like, because there was some garbage time, so it's not like a normal rotation. Anthony played 27 minutes. He played in garbage time. I would like to see Nasir Little get more minutes. Only had 10 minutes tonight. He was 1 for 2. He had a very good finish inside. He's just a glue guy. You know what I mean? He's just that one like forward defender that is like strong and kind of like an Aminu Harkless type. Even though he's a little bit smaller, he has a 7'2" wingspan, you know what I mean? So people look at his height and be like, oh, he's short, but he has really long arms. I would like to see Little get more minutes, but that's really like, that's the thing. If we're to the point where it's like, oh, Nasir Little should be getting 15 minutes instead of 10, like, that's completely fine. Because before it was like, why is Anthony Tolliver playing 35 minutes a game when when Whiteside's out and Scott Labissiere only playing 13? Like,
what's weird is Little wasn't out there with the scrubs at the end. Like, it was
almost like he's part of the rotation now, so he doesn't, he's not getting the garbage time.
Yeah. So I guess that's a plus.
Yeah. But let's look at actually, let's talk about Labissiere. That's the one guy we haven't touched on. He had 4 offensive rebounds. A lot of times he helped the team get offensive rebounds just by crashing hard, just by making guys box him out. And there was also times where he really made OKC work for the rebound, or like a rebound got tipped loose and it stopped OKC from getting out in transition. That's the thing. Sometimes the benefit of crashing the offensive glass hard isn't necessarily that you get the rebound. If you make guys work for it, or you tip the ball out, the ball kind of like goes out to the corner, it gives you more time to get back on defense. It helps stop the other team from running out in transition. Even though you don't get a stat from crashing offensive boards, even though you don't get the offensive rebound, good effort on the offensive glass and almost getting the rebound could help you out in terms of your transition defense, in terms of not getting beat down to the other end of the court. So that's what I noticed with Labissiere. His offensive rebounding was really, really solid tonight. He had 3 offensive rebounds. Felt like he had more than that, I think, just because of how many possessions he had, like I just described. But Portland's rebounding was better again. OKC had 38 rebounds. Portland had 54. Portland had 10 offensive rebounds to OKC's 8, even though Portland had a lot more opportunities. Or even though OKC, that's the thing, is like 10 to 8, that doesn't seem like a big difference. But when you consider how many more offensive rebound opportunities the Thunder had, that's more impressive because the Thunder missed more shots.
Right.
So, like, Portland was hot. They shot 52% from the field, 47% from 3, 100% from the free throw line on 24 free throws. They're 24 for 24 from the free throw line. That's actually really, really impressive night from the team. But that's the thing. They didn't have as many opportunities as OKC for offensive rebounds. They still got more than them. So that's a good development. Still fouled a ton. OKC shot 38 free throws, but they made 30 of them.
Yeah, the second half was bad.
You know what I mean? They only made 6 more free throws than us. It's not as bad as it had been earlier this season.
We didn't miss a free throw, did we?
24 for 24.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Those 2 things have really hurt us this season. They're getting better. So we kind of got screwed over by the refs tonight. They were calling some ticky-tack stuff. They were gifting OKC a lot of free throws, but those 2 things are improving. I think those things are underrated areas that we needed to improve in, and we're improving in those as well.
Yep. Shout out to Travioli.
Oh, did I miss a donation?
Yeah. $2 donation. Whiteside / Anthony are gonna brawl over boards.
Oh, I know.
There was one play where
get the. I think he cussed him. Get the F out of here, son, or something. When I saw he was grabbing the board, I was laughing. I wonder what like the conversation around that in the locker room is. I assume that's just like all good and fun, but
it's probably funny, yeah. Until it's like he almost hurt Whiteside on that one because it was a free throw, but it came off to Melo's side, but Whiteside came over to try to grab it. And Melo got him in the face with an elbow.
I can't remember the last guy we had who was like a rebound chaser. Melo and Hassan are rebound chasers. You know what I mean? I can't remember the last guy that chased rebounds. Like both those guys. Like those guys. You know what I mean? As long as we don't knock guys off the ball. You know, that's the thing with Aminu. Aminu wouldn't chase rebounds, but when he did, he'd like run over his teammate and the ball would go out of bounds. Like, you know, hopefully you don't hurt each other crashing for boards. But Melo's yelling on every rebound is funny, man. It's entertaining. Let's just say that he has the most entertaining rebounds in the league.
The funniest ones are when he like just grabs the ball with no one like within 5 feet of him, and it was obvious he was going to get the rebound, and he still yells super loud.
I got it. That's how he yells it too. It's funny, man. I gotta get out of here.
I guess it's good that they're finally communicating.
I know, right? Yeah, dude's loud on the court. You know what I mean? Dude's like a lot louder on the court than he is like in like his interviews. He's just like mellow. You know what I mean? He is mellow in terms of his like personality. They're chanting his name and he didn't really react to it. You know, he's just kind of chilling there on the bench, like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, which you know he obviously enjoys that. He's been out of the league in a while, so he's just kind of soaking it up. You know, even if he's kind of like has a mellow personality, has kind of like just a laid back personality, but like you can tell like he's enjoying this. He's having a lot of fun, man. And Blazer fans are having a lot of fun watching this guy. That's the thing. When we signed Carmelo, I'm like, you know what? I'm for this because it will be entertaining to see what happens. I didn't expect it to be a huge help. But I've been wrong, man. I've been wrong. And it's been super entertaining. That's the thing, man. Like, we were at such a low point for a while there. And then when we signed Carmelo Anthony, it was like some excitement around the season. And now, like, he's getting people to tune in. And he's helping this team play better. That's two straight absolute blowouts that we have. And now we have the Bulls coming up next at home. If we play like this, that'll be a third blowout in a row.
And after that game, we have 3 full days off, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We don't play till Tuesday in Clippers. It's a back-to-back, but at least we have 3 days of practice time for those guys.
And the thing is, if the Blazers are playing like this, they'll have a chance to win that Clippers game. If the Blazers are playing like this, like the Blazers are playing really, really well, man. They're moving the ball well, they're shooting well. Like, that's the thing. Like, they got good defenders there, but we got 4 good offensive players. You know what I mean? They got 4 good perimeter defenders in their starting lineup. They got Beverly. They got Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Maurice Harkless. But we got, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Rodney Hood, Carmelo Anthony. So we might not be able to score in isolation, but we're moving the ball well. That's how we're going to have to beat the Clippers on that road game we have coming up. But that's a game where I actually feel like we could be competitive in. You know what I mean? I mean, we were competitive against them earlier this season. They didn't have Paul George, but we didn't have Carmelo Anthony. So,
yeah.
And who knows if Kawhi will play? You know what I mean? Like that's. And then after that, we got some easy games. You know, LeBron is like LeBron and the Lakers is our only tough game after that for a while. Man, our schedule is easy, like I said.
Dwayne Coleman's asking what we thought of the unis tonight. I really like the Rip City.
I gotta
new ones. Yeah,
I gotta get a Carmelo Rip City jersey, man. They sold out of Melo jerseys, like all Melo jerseys, I think. But the Rip City Melo jerseys, I want something like that. It's kind of like old school, you know what I mean? So it's kind of fitting to have like a Melo jersey like that.
I love the stripes down the side, the red and the black.
Yeah, it's a dope jersey, man. It's a dope jersey.
The only thing I have to complain about is I don't understand why Rip City is all one word in lowercase. That's kind of how
whatever. It's always been.
I know it's the Nike jerseys have always used like one word instead of, but it's fine. It's a small.
I'm so used to it that it's like that's just kind
of. I like how they look.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like how the Blazers used to be all lowercase. I think that's why the Rip City is all lowercase.
Well, yeah, I understand the Portland one, but yeah, it's fine. I'm not complaining too much. And then real quick back to the Melo thing.
I didn't even see Brian Scalabrini's question asking if we were going to buy a Melo jersey. There's my answer.
Nice. So Melo, like I saw a video the other day from Chris Bosh, like, oh, I'm so glad the Blazers picked him up. Like, thank you so much. Like, Melo, you're doing awesome. That kind of thing. And like stuff like that matters when it comes to next summer and beyond. Having an organization that picks up a guy like that that's that well respected around the league, that has that many like good players around him rooting for him, and not only could it matter for like re-signing him if he wants to stick around or if it's a good fit long term, but he could attract someone saying, you know what, they helped Melo. Melo said it was a great experience for him. They could do the same for me, you know?
Yeah. 100%. It's a good look for Portland, man. It's already known. I don't know, like Dame and CJ are well respected across the league, and then we bring in a guy like Melo who's like so respected around the NBA. That's the thing that I've noticed is like we're one of the nation's like favorite teams to follow now that we got Melo. You know what I mean? Like you can tell based on the way ESPN's covering us. Like I keep seeing Carmelo Anthony suggested things. It's just weird to have like constant coverage of something regarding the Blazers by shows like First Take. When I don't watch that show, you know what I mean? Like I don't like ESPN talk shows. It's a bunch of fluff. It's not, you know, they don't watch Blazer games. They don't really pay attention enough to have insight like they act like they do. But it's just weird to see the attention, man. The attention around this team, the attention around the Carmelo Anthony pickup. We were getting a lot of hate early on, but now I think we're gonna keep turning this thing around. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we said we needed a spark, and he's certainly provided that so far.
I mean, dude, we are 2 games out of the 8th spot with
7-12.
We're 2 games out of the 8th spot, and we have 61 games left. That's the thing. Everybody's talking about tanking. Everybody's talking about the season's lost, that type of thing. That's 2 games to make up in 61. Like we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and Phoenix is coming back down to earth like we both predicted.
Yeah.
They lost to Washington at home tonight.
Yeah, they overachieved. They had a bunch of home games. That's the other thing that people won't reference is we played 13 out of our first 18 games on the road. Now you're telling me, and it was against decent competition. Our schedule's pretty easy from here on out. You're telling me that at this point of the season, this team's going to be figuring things out and playing like this when they're missing 2 bigs to injury, Nurkic and Collins, when they have the potential to make a huge upgrade at the trade deadline, when they have a home-heavy rest of the season schedule against pretty easy opponents in their 7-12, 2 games out of the playoffs. Like that's what I was talking about, being optimistic in the past. That Cleveland let down kind of like ruined that optimism for a game for me. But dude, it was everything that I was saying in the past, man. Like this team is not. out of the running at all, man. This team is still a team that has the potential to make a ton of noise in the postseason. People got a little too pessimistic, and I ranted, after that Cleveland game just because I was so frustrated with such a bad loss. But like if we had Whiteside that game, we would have won that game. Like we're figuring things out. We're gonna be fine, man. We're gonna be good.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that Whiteside missed that game because I think we get that W, and then we're talking a little bit differently now.
Yeah, he is looking a little healthier, a little bit more energetic now. I will say that. He's looking pretty fresh.
And then one thing about how well they're playing too is if this continues, you don't have to necessarily rush Nurk or Collins either back totally, or once they do come back, like you don't have to worry about them having to be a big contributor right away. So you can kind of work them in slowly and let them build back into the rotation versus like forcing them to start right away or worrying about that kind of stuff. And that's a huge advantage when you have guys coming back from injury. If you're not like, oh my God, if we don't have this guy, we're screwed,
Yeah. And I imagine Nurkic with these 4 offensive threats around him with his passing. I mean, like Whiteside played great tonight. But imagine Nurkic like with his passing, you know what I mean? On the short rolls, on the like, I like this lineup, man. Just as long as they can defend, because that's the biggest question mark with this lineup. But their defense is solid. You got rim protector at Whiteside. Nurkic will get back. Collins will get back in March. They might make a trade for a forward, upgrade their lineup, but like you got rim protection, really good rim protectors to help them out. Dame, if he's not doing as much offensively, his defense will be better. This lineup will help Dame play better defense because he's not going to have to drop 60 points in a game like he did against Brooklyn earlier this season. So I think the defense will be okay.
His defense has actually been pretty good.
Yeah, I think that this starting lineup's defense will be okay. Like Rodney Hood's been an okay defender. Carmelo has been an okay defender. CJ has been an okay defender. Like you got 4 okay defenders with a really, really good rim protector. That defense should at least be average, hypothetically. And you're talking about, maybe between 10th and 15th is kind of like the optimistic hope for this team, because with the threats that they have on the court, this should be a top 5 offense.
A lot of people are asking if we think Melo will leave next year. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I mean, I think if he continues to play like this, he's going to give us an advantage signing him this summer. And, I mean, there's something to sitting out a year. But, I mean, if he leaves, he leaves. It's out of our control.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we'll have, Collins back. Like we'll be better. We won't need Melo as much next season as we do right now. And he might not need us as much next season as he did this season because he just needed a chance. But maybe maybe he will be back. Maybe he likes it here. Maybe he's having a lot of fun. I'm not going to look ahead to that. I'm just going to enjoy Melo's time here, man, because dude is balling out right now.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch when they're playing. And I love how much he enjoys it too.
Yeah, for sure. So, dude, it's just a really fun game tonight. And I'm enjoying wins, man. This is the second time this season they've won consecutive games. The first time they beat OKC to win their second game in a row in Game 5 to go 3-2. That was over a month ago. Was the last time they won like their second game in a row. So they've won 2 games in a row. They're 7-12. As I said, with the way our schedule shook out, if we were like 7-10 after 17 games, we'd be at a 50-win pace. Like, just given how hard our schedule was. Right now we're 7-12. We're not hypothetically that far off. Obviously, it's all like hypothetical, just in terms of like talking about opponent strength and whatnot.
And dude, this is only the second game that the starting lineup has played together. Like, that's crazy to think. Like, there's still a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in terms of like the roster construction can improve, and in terms of guys getting more acclimated with each other, it can definitely improve. So let me just this stream is popping off. The fact that we still got 115 viewers right now, and we're almost an hour in. That's a lot better than we usually do. So shout out to everybody watching the stream. If you want to help out the channel, you can leave a like. That'll help out the channel. It'll help us in terms of like YouTube's algorithm, all that type of stuff. I got my like counter up here at 24. I want to see that spike. So make sure you guys leave a like on this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. So I mean, what else do you want to touch on for this game? You guys can ask us questions too, and we can get to those. But we've covered this pretty well. We've gone pretty in depth about this. We've covered a lot of different topics. This is that in depth post game content for you guys. No shots being fired. You know what I mean? But this is that in depth post game content for you guys.
Yeah, AH is asking for Scal to shoot 3-pointers more. That's something you've been stressing for a while.
There's one, he was completely wide open, just looking to hand off to a guard. It's like, Scal, shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You got a beautiful jump shot that goes in. He just doesn't really look to shoot much. I would like to see him shoot more threes. I think he could knock down 35-36% of them. But his mid-range game is beautiful, man. His mid-range game is beautiful. This kind of goes into, this is the thought I had about Melo too. Houston was such a horrible fit for him. Threes or layups, like no mid-range game. Like, he gets to the rim because of his threat from mid-range. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if defenders are knowing, okay, they don't want him shooting mid-range, and he's probably not going to shoot mid-range shots with confidence at Houston because they don't want him shooting those shots, then he's not really a threat from the mid-range, so I don't have to guard him as tightly when he faces up. So that was just a horrible offense. He was made the scapegoat in Houston, which I'm seeing now was absolutely ridiculous that he was made he was made the scapegoat in Houston, man. They mistreated him. I didn't really know enough to really have much of an opinion on that. I just figured people were Melo fans. That's just kind of what they're gonna say. No, you could tell now that this dude can still play, and he's had multiple baseline drives for dunks in the past 2 games. He's had one each game. One against Chicago, one against OKC tonight, where he faces up and guys have to press up on him so much that he's able to drive baseline and get a slam dunk. I don't think that would have been the case in Houston. Houston was a terrible fit because they don't embrace the mid-range shot at all. They don't want their guys shooting mid-range shots. In Melo's game, he's able to get to the rim because he's able to shoot mid-range shots. So that's why the mid-range shot too is still a solid shot if used correctly. There's this analytics age in the NBA where, the longest 2-pointers are the least efficient shot because, you'd rather have 3 points for a shot instead of 2 and shoot a 3-pointer, or, get as close as you can, shoot a lay-in. But if you're able to make shots consistently enough from the mid-range, that makes it easier for you to get to the rim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a threat to score from mid-range. That means guys are, okay, I got to take away this mid-range shot, even though it's, the least efficient shot. If they're still a good enough threat, defensively, you got to try and take that away. When you play up tighter, it's easier to get around guys and get to the rim. Then your hesitation moves start working. If you're CJ and you drive, you get to mid-range and you hesitate. That gets defenders coming up at you, up on their toes, and then it's easier to blow by them and get to the rim. So that's why the mid-range game is still it's still something that's very helpful for players. The San Antonio Spurs were the 3rd most efficient offense last season, even though they shot the most mid-range jump shots. So that's why I don't buy into Houston's Daryl Morey's analytics-driven offense that doesn't embrace the mid-range shot at all. It's still a shot that you need to be a super efficient scorer. I mean, you look at a guy like Rodney Hood too. Dude's been automatic from mid-range. CJ, Dane, these guys have mid-range shots. It helps them out.
Yeah, and it's if you have guys that can shoot, whether they're guarded or not from the mid-range, which we have 3 of right now, with both Hood, CJ, and Melo, I'd say, can all get to the mid-range, even if a guy's on them. And that's a huge advantage, too, when the defenses start to tighten up, or when we play a good defense, on Tuesday against the Clippers, we'll see that just being able to get off shots. The other thing I like, too, is that Melo only shot 1 3-pointer tonight. He had been struggling the last couple of games, so it's good.
He was 4 for 7 against Chicago. He had a solid night against Chicago. The night before that, he was 0 for 8.
It was 0 for 8, yeah. I just meant, overall.
Yeah.
He recognized that it wasn't really working, and he moved his game closer to the basket. And I like to see people who do that instead of just keep on forcing threes.
Part of that too is like they kept switching, which was a mistake. They kept switching, like
right.
There was multiple times, especially in the second half, where Carmelo would come up and set a screen for Dame, and they'd switch it. They'd switch Gilgeous-Alexander, who's still skinny and he's smaller and shorter than Carmelo, and then they'd send Carmelo right to the post, and he'd take advantage of that mismatch. That kind of goes into like taking advantage of the mismatch, you know what I mean? Compared to like him just like setting a screen and popping out to the 3-point line, which he did a lot of against Cleveland. So I like to see that.
Well, he's setting good picks too.
Yeah, that too, man. That too. Holly Kelly says, Tori, how would you feel about getting Max Kleba, a nice stretch big? He'd be a good fit, but I don't see what he does any better than like a guy like Scal. You know what I mean? So I don't know if we'd really have minutes for him here. I do like Little as the backup 4. I think Little is a good fit with Scal. His defense is rebounding. And I don't think the Mavericks would give him up. I don't even think they could trade him right now because he did sign. Yeah, they can't trade him right now. He did sign an extension of contract this past summer, but he's kind of a integral part of theer team.
Joe Mama, I wasn't saying he's struggling shooting threes overall. I'm saying he had a rough couple of games where he went 0 for 8, and then tonight he missed his first one. And then I like to see that he tries other things instead of just keep shooting the 3. It wasn't necessarily that he was shooting bad overall.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, he is shooting. Going into tonight, he was shooting 39% from 3. Problem is, he was shooting 39% from the field as well. So he's shooting 39% from 2. I'll do some math right now. I want to see what his percentages are after this game because the site doesn't update immediately. So I'll do the math myself. Just got to do. Let's see here. So
there's lots of questions too about starting Collins over Melo when he gets back. At the earliest, he'll be back early March. I don't think you worry about that right now. If we're playing like this, you absolutely don't mess with it at all.
Yeah, you don't rock the boat. And Collins, behind Nurk as the backup center makes a lot of sense. Collins, I think, is a little bit better at center. I think it would be less pressure on Collins if he came back off the bench too, and compared to being just immediately thrown back in the starting lineup. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. So, Carmelo's percentages right now from the field after this game, 45.3%. From the 3-point line, 37.5%. That's good, especially since like the dude didn't play for a year and was coming back and adjusting to get back in the league. The fact that he's shooting those percentages after how many games? Let me see here.
5 games?
Yeah, tonight was his 5th game. And he's already shooting like that. He's already getting over 16 points per game. How many points did he have tonight?
Melo? 19. Yeah. Later, Holly Kelly. Good night.
See ya. Thank you for tuning in. He's averaging 16.6 points per game, man. Like talking about that third scorer. You know what I mean? Like him and Rodney Hood. That's 2 guys that are worthy, that are talented enough to be that third scorer. And we got 2 of them. You know what I mean? So.
And then you also have the situation where, in the past, there's been some times where if Dame or CJ aren't hitting, like we can't score, right? Yeah. Well, now we have 4 different guys. It's going to be very rare that all 4 of them are off on the same night. So just like we talked about, just exploit matchups and feed the hot hand, and I think it's great.
Yeah, dude, it's phenomenal, man. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun to see that offense moving the ball like that. It's a lot of fun to see that style of basketball that we've been asking for so long. So
it's so much different than just a few days ago.
Oh my goodness, man! Yeah, it's so much better. It's so much better.
And I was just seeing some highlights. Schroeder's such a dirty player.
I don't like Schroeder, man.
He's a little flopper.
Schroeder bothers me. So we're on to hour 2 of the Uprise post-game show. We can maybe segue into some general NBA talk. We'll go over the scores if you want. So Blazers, of course, took care of the Thunder, winning by 17.
Sweet. Golden State won.
Magic beat. Yeah, you gotta let me go through the games. Or you just got randomly shout out, "Hey, Golden State."
No.
Sweet. The Bucks won too. Come on, man. It's like that's like Jordan Kent going through the halftime scores and Michael Holton just like shouting out a completely random game in the middle of it.
That was just because that was the last game for our picks.
I know why you're celebrating it. It's just funny. So Magic beat the Cavs 116-104. That was one you got wrong. Oh, sweet Magic won. You're wrong, bro. Let's see here. Evan Fournier dropped 30. He's been good. Markelle Fultz 15. He's had a resurgence. That's awesome to see. Mo Bamba was 5 for 5 from the 3-point line. Mo Bamba was 5 for 6, 5 for 5 from the 3-point line. I was saying Mo Bamba will be fine.
I'm kind of glad. Not that I would ever want injuries on someone, but I'm glad he's getting a shot to actually show what he can do.
Yeah, and let me just say this too. Would Kevin Love really be that much better for the Portland Trailblazers than Carmelo Anthony?
No, I don't think so.
Carmelo can do what Kevin Love can do. You know what I mean? Like, Kevin Love isn't like that great of a three-point shooter. He's kind of like a 36, 37% three-point shooter. That's what Carmelo Anthony is shooting right now. Carmelo Anthony, I think, is a little bit more of it like a face-up threat, and I don't think he's a worse defender. This might be like the
Love's probably a better rebounder. That's all I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a much better rebounder.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing I can really point to. Maybe a little bit better passer, but it's like this is kind of like the effect that some Blazer fans wanted by going out and getting Kevin Love. And we didn't have to give up anything for it. Didn't have to sign a huge contract. We got it with Carmelo. Because Kevin Love tonight, 24 minutes, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 for 9 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3. He has a lot of, and he has his injury issues. He's been out of the lineup so far this season. So that's the thing is I saw Kevin Love 9 points. Carmelo Anthony outplayed Kevin Love tonight. Pacers beat Indiana. Pacers beat the Jazz, which is good for the Blazers, not good for my picks that I made on the podcast earlier today. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we do a little over-under game, and we make picks for the night scores. But Pacers blew them out, dropped 120 points. Let's see here. Sabonis 23, Warren 23, Brogdon 22 and 8. Brogdon has been one of the most improved players in the league this year, which was one of my predictions. Bogdanovich had 30 for the Jazz against this old team, which was Indiana. But other than that, Royce O'Neal, 0 points. I remember getting in a fight on Twitter around the start of the season with a Jazz fan trying to tell me how much better Royce O'Neal was than Rodney Hood. Royce O'Neal had 0 points in 27 minutes. Like 2 assists, 1 rebound. Okay. You know what I mean? But those Jazz fans, man. Donovan Mitchell, 26 points. Gobert, 14 and 13. Not really impressive stats. Celtics beat the Nets. That was in Boston. No Kyrie Irving. Celtics fans were chanting, "Where's Kyrie?" They were chanting, "Kyrie sucks." They were ragging on Kyrie all game long, and then Kyrie posted some like huge rant to Instagram talking about how, oh man, you guys got to go search that Kyrie Irving. He basically was like talking about the fans that were booing him, chanting he sucks, and he was talking about like mental health and just like, I don't know. It was really, I don't even know how to paraphrase it because I didn't even really understand what he was trying to say. It was like a very long rant on Instagram. You guys can look that up if you want. But the Celtics took care of business. Celtics have been playing really good right now. Kemba Walker had 39 points against Kyrie left, went to Brooklyn. Kemba's in. Kemba 39 points, showing that he might be the better point guard for the Boston Celtics because the Celtics are 13-4 right now. They're playing much better.
Called that before the season.
Yeah, they're playing much better than they ever did with Kyrie. So
I think this was Kemba's first game back after that scary fall too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Because when I saw that dude, I was scared that Kemba was going to be have like serious issues because that looked bad. The way he ran it, the way that injury happened. But it's just a concussion, not to minimize the effects of a concussion. Concussions are no good, but
right.
He's back already, which is awesome to see, and he's playing well. Jason Tatum's still super overrated, man. I was a huge Jason Tatum fan up until like the latter part of last year, and then this year he had 16 points, 5 for 17 shooting. His efficiency has fallen all 3 seasons. He's gotten worse all 3 seasons. I don't know why. I don't watch them enough, but like he's gotten worse all 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's someone I was super high on coming out of the draft, so it's kind of puzzling to me too.
He looked really, really good as a rookie, and
I think
his development just stagnated.
For me, part of it I think is I'd probably rather play him at the small forward than the power forward.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's contributing.
Yeah, I don't know why
that
it would
much.
affect him that much. You know what I mean? Last year he played small forward,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because they had Marcus Morris there at power forward. 76ers beat the Kings. That's another team we're chasing. Kings are 7-10 now. We're 7-12. So
I think we play them a couple times in December too.
yeah,
right?
that's what I've noticed with our schedule, man. Is we got a lot of like teams that we're playing like 3 times before the new year. OKC is one of them. We got like a lot of games that are kind of like grouped together. Like we played the Bulls last game, and now we play them next game. We only play them twice, and it's twice within 3 games. The Thunder we play like 4 times before the new year. I think we play them again in like a week, which will be our 3rd matchup against them. I think the Jazz starting here in like a week and a half. I think we play them like 4 times in a month and a half or something like that. Like a lot of our games are grouped together, which is kind of strange. That's kind of what I noticed from the early season schedule. But I mean, not a big deal. But Matisse Thybulle had 15 points off the bench, 3 for 3 shooting from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the field. I know that's like Twitter's favorite. He's one of those guys, you know what I mean? Like, Twitter has their NBA cult heroes. Like, you got Aaron Baines, Matisse Thybulle. I forget who else you could name, but, like, those guys are, like, NBA Twitter just loves those. Alex Caruso, that's the one guy who gets annoying the way he's covered. But, so we got some Western Conference teams losing tonight, though. Jazz lost, Kings lost. Clippers barely beat the Grizzlies. They beat them by 2, man. They had Paul George. They had no Kawhi Leonard, though. Did not play left knee soreness. Basically load management.
Yeah, because they played yesterday.
Montrez and Lou Williams both had 24 off the bench. Paul George had 22, though. 22 as well. John Morant had 20, 11, and 5. Rookie of the Year favorite right there. Valanciunas had 30 and 16 and 3 assists. Phenomenal game. Valanciunas is underused, underrated there, man. Hornets beat the Pistons by 1. The Pistons keep losing. They're 6-12. They're kind of in the same boat we are, but I don't think they'll turn it around like we're starting to do right now. Blake Griffin had 26 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 for 21 shooting. Not a super efficient night, but that team has kind of been dysfunctional so far. Blake Griffin has kind of struggled, but like the more that team loses, the more likely Blake Griffin is a trade possibility for the Portland Trailblazers. And honestly, it's not necessarily a bad thing that Blake Griffin is struggling, because that just lowers his trade value. So that's my favorite target. I think he would be great for the Blazers. And right now it's looking like the Pistons might end up having to blow it up. I mean, they got a worse record than the Hornets right now. Hornets are 7-12. Hornets have been surprisingly solid. Got more depth than I thought they would. Batum came back. Batum had 13 points. Might end up being a season high for Batum because that dude don't shoot no more. Raptors beat the Knicks by 28, so that pick was horrible for me. I thought the Knicks would keep it within 10. What else we got here? Bucks beat the Hawks by 9. Hawks have been in a lot of games this season. Hawks are 4-14, but they've been in a lot of games this season.
They haven't had John Collins in a while, so
that team still has a lot of promise. Milwaukee's 15-3. Rockets beat the Heat by 9. Timberwolves beat the Spurs 113-101. Spurs are struggling. Spurs are 6-13. That's another team to watch in terms of trades. I think DeMar DeRozan will get traded. I think there's a good chance LaMarcus Aldridge gets traded. I don't think either one of them are great fits for the Portland Trailblazers. You look at the way the Portland Trailblazers are playing with having like a 3-level scorer like Carmelo Anthony. I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge would I'm not saying that LaMarcus isn't better than Carmelo. Obviously, LaMarcus is better than Carmelo right now, but he's not really a 3-point shooter. So who knows how he'd fit playing the style of basketball that the Blazers played the last couple of nights. Wizards beat the Suns, which is good for us. Another Western Conference team losing to an Eastern Conference team. The Lakers barely beat the Pelicans. That was 80's return to New Orleans. They booed him mightily. Warriors beat the Bulls. So that's the thing, man. We better take care of Chicago. Chicago's playing really bad right now. They just lost by 14 to the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors didn't have D'Angelo Russell either, who's been banged up a lot. They had Draymond Green. Eric Paschal had 25 against them. Alec Burks had 23. Omari Spellman 13, Marquise Chris 11, Glenn Robinson the third 11. So it's these no-name players going off. Yeah, dude, the Bulls are playing bad. We better win. We better keep this up, man. I hope we don't have a letdown next game, because that would be a horrible loss. Like, we gotta pick up these wins, man. Yeah, so that was all the NBA from tonight. That was 14 games, I believe. So I'm going to tune back into chat. If you guys got any Blazer questions or...
Brian Scalabrine is asking if you saw what he sent you on Instagram.
No. Let me see here. I'll check it right now, bro.
Yeah, the Lakers, they were down big in that game.
I don't
know if you saw that.
I don't know what his name is on Instagram. I don't know which guy he would be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, one request. Okay, it's probably the request. I think it's the picture of I don't know if this is the guy, but I got a picture of Blake Griffin liking the tweet that said, "Please take Blake Griffin from us," in regards to the Blazers.
We got this guy Malcolm. I keep asking if CJ's an All-Star this year. I don't think there's any chance of that happening, especially with how bad our record is.
You got these guards. You got these guards stepping up that really deserve it. You got Devin Booker. Suns are winning more games. Devin Booker is putting up more impressive stats than CJ, and he's the number one guy on his team. Luka Doncic is obviously going to make it as a guard. So you got Dame, James Harden, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker. Who knows if Paul George or Kawhi Leonard will be listed as a guard? Even if they're not, though, there's somebody I'm missing beyond that who's a really good guard. Donovan Mitchell is putting up good numbers. Let me search Mitchell right here. Donovan Mitchell's putting up almost 26 points per game, over 5 rebounds and 4 assists right now. So, and the Jazz are winning a lot of games. So Donovan Mitchell will be a candidate over CJ right now. I don't think there's any way CJ makes it.
Jamal Murray hasn't put up huge stats, but they're 13-3. Stuff like that matters.
Yeah. I mean, CJ's stats look solid. He's getting over 22 points per game right now. His efficiency has gotten back to a okay level. He's still below NBA average efficiency wise, but he's been better lately. So I mean, he's getting 22 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists. But he had a season where he had 23 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and he didn't make an All-Star team. I just don't see it for CJ, man. Maybe if there's a couple injuries to guards, maybe he has a chance of squeaking in, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Another candidate, Andrew Wiggins, who has been a shooting guard this year. They've been playing him at guard, and right now he's getting over 25 points per game and 5 rebounds and 3.5 assists. So there's a lot of candidates.
Well, I guess if Dame missed a few games too, CJ had good stats in those games, but that would be the only way. He's one of those guys where if he got traded to Orlando or something, he would put up 30 and 8 or something, and he'd make an All-Star game in the East, but it's going to be too hard in the West.
Yeah, there's just no way. Portland's best chance at a second All-Star next to Dame would be trading for one. Or if they do what they did last year when they had Dirk and Dwayne Wade as the 13th roster spot for the All-Star team with the legacy thing, maybe they do that for Carmelo. Maybe they do that for Carmelo and Vince Carter, because I assume they do that for Vince Carter. As Vince Carter's last season, he's 43.
How hilarious would it be if Melo got started or voted in as a starter?
Well, it's not just fan votes anymore, so.
I know,
dude.
Yeah,
because it's like a third coaches, a third media, and a third fans. Because it used to be just fans, so you'd have the possibility of a guy not deserving it getting in. Because like honestly, like Melo doesn't deserve it. He's not, he's not that caliber, man. Like, just being real, like he's not all-star caliber. Right now, he's playing like a borderline all-star, but like he's not gonna, 17 points per game. You're not making an all-star team. But man, Dame just posted a video of Nurk holding Dame Jr. It's so heartwarming, man. Was it that video of Nurkic in the locker room? Because I saw a video of Nurkic holding Dame Jr. in the locker room. Which you love to see it.
Yeah, those guys are. It's cool how close they've become, Nurk and Dame.
Yeah, man, it's just a fun dynamic, man. Yeah. Where did he post it? I'm trying to see it. Let me know where he posted it.
I know Blazers Twitter posted the video, and it said like, "Rely on us for baby videos" or something.
My girlfriend will love that video.
Yeah.
That's why I gotta find it.
Are you gonna have a baby soon? Is that what you're saying?
Bro, get the hell out of here! Hey, I'm about to hang up on your Skype call. The hell! I literally didn't we discuss this recently on air? Did I say like
I don't think
you literally asked me like last post game show like you having a kid soon?
I didn't ask that.
I've heard you. No, you asked that. I swear. That's
never
two more
asked you
times than the rest of my entire family's asked me that in my life. So you're entering like creep territory right now, bro. You gotta chill. You gotta chill on the kid talk. Hell no, I ain't having a kid soon.
That was the first time, and I was just wondering if she was wanting it.
No.
Okay,
good. Not until we be married, but like we gotta like we don't live together right now. You know what I mean? Like so, I ain't gonna discuss it, bro. Just Eric, man. It's a post game show. This is not like I talk. This is not like this isn't Ellen. This isn't Dr. Phil. Thank God we don't need Dr. Phil. I've been watching Dr. Phil lately. That's I'm getting older. I'm starting to be entertained by that shit. But what were you saying?
Oh, so it wasn't me asking about kids. It was you on a post-game show answered your phone twice from your girlfriend, and people are making fun of you. That wasn't me, though. I mean,
y'all
didn't
even know it was my girlfriend, man. I didn't say it was. I said I gotta answer my phone call, and then I muted it because I'm not about to like talk on the phone on air. You know what I mean? Like, and then y'all ran with it. Yeah. Y'all ran with that. I think Reed probably led that. Reed always like making stuff up. Reed, you know what I'm talking about if you're still in here. No. We gotta get somebody to like clip segments of our post game show, man. The montage of like top moments would be funny. Yeah. Funny as hell. Maybe that's your job, bro. Maybe that's your job. You want some practice editing, but it'd be work. It'd be work. I don't know how people do that officially. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from Eric's creepy mind.
I don't know about the afro. If Nurk should grow an afro, his hair is looking pretty weird.
I think it would negatively affect his playing if he was playing with that hair. I like it. I like it for like the hippie vibe he gives off. You know what I mean? It kind of fits like his vibe. But not if he's playing, you know what I mean? Like, I like his sharp look when he's playing. Hair's not getting in his face. It's not some Alfred Payton type stuff where his hair is like blocking his jump shot. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad Alfred shaved that.
That was ugly, bro. That was like it was like a waterfall in front of his face, man. It was.
Brian Scalabrine said he was the one that asked last time about the kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that wasn't me.
It was. You're right. I just associate you with Brian Scalabrine.
Okay,
You're like a rec league Brian Scalabrine, and you would look like him if you were ginger and had a beard.
And I'm older than his dad.
No, I mean like the real Brian Scalabrine.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, because dude's All right. Moving on. Beavis Cleaver says, I'm disappointed in Rose Garden not filling more seats and not getting loud enough. What are you talking about?
Dame Dollar says our audio isn't synced.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's just his.
Well, I mean, your camera isn't on.
No, I meant like I didn't know if it was
that better.
Our audio was messed
I'll
up.
toy with it until it's good because the delay kind of grew since the start. I did notice that. Thank you for letting me know. Hopefully that's better. The audio, I assume, is a little bit before the camera. Yeah, let's see here. Hood will win the shooting title this year if he keeps shooting like this. Maybe, man, 50% from three. I mean, like he's kind of, I don't know. Like we lost Curry. Like, oh, we lost our 3-point specialist. Right now, Rodney Hood. That's what he is, man. Like he like his efficiency this year, dude. His efficiency has been phenomenal.
I know. We just got to get him more
the
shots.
fact that he's not getting more than 12 points per game right now is kind of ridiculous. But his career high for 2-point percentage in a season is 47.8%. Right now, his 3-point percentage is going to be better than that after this game. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. His career high in field goal percentage is 43.5%. So this isn't a guy who's like been an efficient scorer, and right now he's crazy efficient. And his true shooting percentage isn't like as good as it would have been if he was still shooting free throws at the same rate and the same clip as he had earlier in his career. Because he's only getting a free throw and a half a game, and he's shooting 76%. But like his true shooting percentage before this game was 63%. Man, that's elite for a guy like him who can score in a variety of ways. We haven't, had a small forward like that in a while.
AH is asking if we have our eyes on any potential 2020 draft picks. You want me to tell mine first? Oh
yeah, you like Obi Toppin.
I love Obi Toppin from Dayton is my draft crush right now.
Barely seen him. I haven't done enough scouting, so.
He's like a combo forward. I compared him to kind of a mix between Otto Porter and Jonah Bolden, if that makes sense. But yeah, he's got good court vision. Is super athletic. Is stroking the three at a really high percentage right now. I really like him. Hoping he stays around the late first round instead of jumping up into the lottery.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Let's see here. Yeah, keep sending your questions. We'll go for a little bit longer. My voice is starting to get sore for some reason. I went for 4 hours and my voice didn't get sore last stream, and we're at an hour and a half. My voice is already starting to get a little sore, so. Also, if you see something, you can shout out. Yeah, there you
go. At Dame Dollar, so he asked if Steph will make the All-Star team because the fans love him so much. Like you pointed out earlier, Tori, the fan vote is only a percentage of the vote now. Mm-hmm. So he probably won't get voted.
There's no way. The coaches wouldn't vote for him. The media is not going to vote for him. Yeah. So that's the thing. If there's ever a year, it would be the year Steph's getting hurt. If there's ever a year for CJ, but you have three guys who have really taken that next step. Devin Booker's just playing a better brand of basketball. He's helping his team win more. It's not quite like he was putting up empty stats in years past. Now he's just playing a better brand of basketball, and he's a better facilitator, better scorer, just better all around offensive player than CJ. Donovan Mitchell's kind of had a third year breakout a little bit. Luka Doncic is insane this year, man. So and Luka Doncic says the thing, if he was playing small forward, then that helped. But he's moved down to shooting guard, right? Like he's being considered a shooting guard, guard, point guard type of player. So if he's considered as a guard, which I think he will be, that's a third guy, a third a third never been an all-star type player that I think has a better chance than CJ. So it's CJ's kind of caught in between, never really got like a legit chance in the West, which sucks, but
his name's Obi Toppin, Toppin. Or Obi like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi. That's how you spell his first name. Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. So Beef Blitz keeps on talking about trading for Gallinari, and I think much like we just discussed with Love, I don't think that makes sense at all for our team right now. Adding another power forward scoring player with no defense and getting rid of one of our wing players.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So he plays defense.
We sure Gallinari's better than Carmelo right now?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, like, they're kind of the same player, you know what I mean? It's...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was never that high on Gallinari.
If Gallinari didn't have that insane shooting percentage last year from three, I think it was like 43% off the top of my head. That would, like, he would not be thought of that highly.
No, he overachieved last season. He wasn't thought of highly going into last season. Then he overachieved last season. Now fans think he's like some really good option. I don't think he's that good of an option. He's yeah. Beavis Cleaver's talking about he wants to hear defense chat every defensive possession in the Rose Garden. That's no fan base anywhere does that. So,
dude, I was there for that 4 overtime game in the playoffs.
Maybe for the playoffs, not regular season. They ain't doing that.
No, I know, but we did trade defense on every possession. Man, that was so hard into that game to yell it all. Like, I could barely talk.
I bet, yeah. I bet, man.
But it's really hard to get up for, like, and yell defense on every possession when your team is like 5-12 and you're playing a crappy team. I don't know. It's I mean,
fans were pretty good tonight.
The atmosphere seemed fine tonight.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, fans were good tonight. Dude, I'm trying to charge my phone right now, but you know my charger issues that I'm struggling with right now.
Yeah, I get he's saying that's exactly why we should. It's just
it's
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's just it's kind of unrealistic to think to do that for
it's good in theory, you know what I mean, but it's not practical. It's not gonna happen.
And especially when, I mean, a lot of the fans are the same fans that were there for all the playoff games, and it's impossible to get up as much for a game right now than it was like playing in the Western Conference Finals, you know, just 100%. A few months ago.
100%. There's a certain energy in the building during playoffs too that I love that just isn't there for the regular season. Bro, this won't charge.
Phone issues again.
Yeah, dude, now it won't even charge at all, man. It's just a struggle. Oh, I don't think the block was plugged in all the way. Yeah, just, you know, the struggle, man. Because I was watching the game on my phone for a while, so it just drained my battery. But I have to bend it a certain way in the charger port. It's not ideal. Also, if you guys haven't watched the mailbag I just dropped, you guys can go check it out. Finally got that out for you guys. Let's see, what else can I plug other than my phone? Patreon, if you guys want to guest appear on a podcast or a post-game show, there's a Patreon link. If you donate $10 a month or more, you'll be able to guest on a podcast or post-game show. If you donate $25 a month or more, I'll open that up to like a mailbag or something like that. Our only $25 a month donor is a YouTuber with like he has over 1 million subscribers. Reggie Coase, if you guys know who that is, he's our biggest Patreon donor. He's a really cool guy. He like makes beats and stuff, so I'm hitting him up for some beats to use in videos and that type of thing. Maybe we'll get him on at some point, but dude's super energetic. But cool. Yeah, other than that, we don't really have any $10 or $25 donors. So if you guys want to talk to us, if you guys want to come guest with us. That'd be dope, man. If it's $10 donation on Patreon, link is in the description. It's right there for you guys. So.
And then we can make fun of someone else's forehead.
Yeah, we get one of those guys on here.
I bet. Yeah, none of those guys probably want to show their face.
Yeah, that's the thing. People, oh my God, you shouldn't even brought it back up, man. Don't even get me going on that.
Sorry.
Some people in here might. No, some people on here.
Dame Dollar, who was the biggest offender, says mention your SeatGeek code.
Oh yeah, Blazers Uprise saves you $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. A lot of people in here probably don't know what we're talking about. I was getting roasted last. I'm not even gonna say what it's about. I mean, Eric just said it, but I'm not even gonna repeat it. But I was getting roasted in hour 4 of our last post-game stream. We're not gonna revisit that because I can't even keep up with chat. And if I have to keep up with chat, that means the stream is gonna lag. So, because that's the thing, I was having to put users in timeout for being a little too extra. See, now I'm updating chat because my phone's dead and won't charge right now, man.
We can plug Eric trying to do his own first video.
Oh yeah, I don't even know what you're doing.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do it.
Beavis Cleaver, man, it's not the charger's fault. It's actually the port in my phone. It's the port in my phone's fault.
Beef Blitz is saying if Gallo is not a good option, then I don't see many weaknesses except for a defensive second unit power forward. Yeah, we'd probably use just some sort of stopper on the perimeter too, especially if playoffs become a thing and we have to go up against a team like the Clippers. We need someone who can lock down, which Little might be that guy, but
he just doesn't have enough experience to be like as good of a defender.
Right.
I'm still on the Otto Porter Jr. train, even though he struggled. Still a really good shooter. And a solid defender and can play 3 or 4. He's kind of a big defensive wing. I'm still on board with trying to turn Bazemore into him, which I think would really help our team. Rodney Hood move him to the bench. Hopefully he keeps that efficiency and would get more shots off the bench. And then you'd have Otto Porter Jr. in the starting lineup at the 3, or you'd move Melo to the bench and play Otto Porter Jr. as the starting 4. But that trade would be more around the deadline, and then we'd have Collins come back soon. So I think Otto Porter Jr. would be more of a 3, especially if we sent out Bazemore for him. So I still think like that's like the most realistic. I think that's the most realistic trade is something like Bazemore and I don't know, Gary Trent Jr. for Otto Porter Jr. I think we'd have to send out more salary. Maybe we include Scow when we have Nurkic come back. I think that's the most realistic trade. Is something for Otto Porter Jr. involving Kent Bazemore. Maybe involving Hassan Whiteside, but I think that's the most realistic target. Marcus Morris is a solid target too. He's been shooting the 3-point ball well, but he's not the defender that Otto Porter Jr. is. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like that's the thing is, I think we'll make a trade. I think we'll be a killer team after the deadline.
Yeah. And you think about a guy like Otto Porter Jr. too would help us next year as well, especially if Melo wasn't an option this summer.
We'll have like $28 million contract that will be expiring that we could possibly turn into like a star player that becomes available at next year's deadline, assuming we still have all our first-round picks, young assets, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing is there's not like a ton of stars that are available at the deadline. There will be stars available that don't really fit our team, you know, like a Chris Paul or a DeMar DeRozan I don't think is a good fit. LaMarcus Aldridge I don't think is that good of a fit. So there'll be some stars available. Andre Drummond might be available, but like we don't need a center. Derrick Rose could be available. He's been killing it, but we don't need him. So that's the thing is like there's not a lot of good star options. Getting a guy like Otto Porter Jr. would help our team this year, and then he has 2 years left on his contract instead of 1, so his contract will run into next year because he'll accept that player option for $28 million, and then we'll have that expiring contract, which will be helpful to make a trade for a bigger salary player next season because there should be like somebody that becomes available next season that we could trade Otto Porter Jr. for. That would be an upgrade that isn't available now, if that makes sense.
And to the people talking about Covington, I think Williams right that the Wolves, as long as they're in the playoff race, probably wouldn't entertain trading him unless it's for a major upgrade like D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, because he's a really good fit next to Wiggins. They're I really like the lineup of like Wiggins, Covington, and Layman at 2 through 4. Both all those guys are like big, versatile, can guard multiple positions, even if they can't guard multiple positions all that well. You know what I mean? Like Covington's obviously the best defender of that group, but all three of them can shoot. All three of them can kind of. Robert Covington doesn't really attack, but Andrew Wiggins has been great attacking. Layman can attack here and there. That's the thing is Covington's like an important part of their team, a big reason why they're winning games. If they're going to be making the playoffs, they're going to want him to guard Kawhi or LeBron, because I assume that they'd be a 7 or 8 seed, maybe a 6 seed. There would be a good chance they'd go up against the Lakers or the Clippers in the first round. So Covington, that's the guy you want to guard Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, or LeBron James. So
yeah. William, no, I would not entertain trading Nurk at all, regardless. Like, it doesn't matter what we get back. His contract is great.
His value is much higher to us than it would be to another team, given his injury. There's no. Whiteside. That's the thing. We're going to trade Whiteside before we trade Nurk. If we're going to trade one of those guys this year, it's going to be Whiteside 100%. 100%. I mean, like, Nurkic is ingrained, you know, unless, I don't know. I just don't see us trading Nurk. Unless, like, we were trying to trade for, like a top 10, 15 player, even though there's not one available. That's the thing. There's no, like, Anthony Davis available, but say there was and they demanded Nurkic for some reason, then, yeah, maybe we'd include Nurk. Yeah. But, like, no team was going to, like, demand Nurkic coming off a broken leg, so...
And if you give up Nurk in a trade for like Kevin Love or LaMarcus Aldridge, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So,
there's a debate over what's the best cereal.
Oh, we're talking food again. The best cereal is Frosted Flakes.
I like
Cinnamon
Frosted
Toast
Flakes
Crunch.
too.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Frosted Flakes.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is good.
No debate. If you say anything else other than those two, you're true.
I'm such a kid when it comes to cereal. Still, I like all the crappy ones like Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms. And
you like Lucky Charms?
I don't like any of
the
healthy ones.
You're out there eating Lucky Charms at 40 years old, you weirdo. You're a weirdo.
My dang little kids eat all the freaking marshmallows out of there, though. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'd say no Lucky Charms then. What was chat saying? What was chat's picks? Honey Bunches of Oats? What, bro? You like Honey Bunches of Oats over everything else? You kidding me?
Dame Dollar says no arguments. Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Reese's Puffs take the dub.
Reese's Puffs is up there, but I'd rather have Frosted Flakes than Reese's Puff. Or I'd rather have Cinnamon Toast Crunch than like Reese's Puff. That's kind of like the same kind of flavor. It's more cinnamony, better texture.
Yeah.
Like Reese's Puffs.
Like, I don't even know if this is healthy, but the healthiest cereal I like is like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Mini Wheats is pretty good. That's not necessarily like healthy, but now that Scal's playing well, Whiteside is expendable. No, he's not. He's not. Well, he's expendable from the standpoint of Nurkic getting back. He's not expendable because of Scal. Whiteside's better than Scal, and a better defender.
Schroeder does not make any sense on our team. I don't think, especially since he still has another year left on his contract
not at all. He's not better than Ant. Schroeder sucks, man.
Oh man, so nice. 2 wins in a row.
Yeah. We got Chicago next. Win that game. Then we got the Clippers. Let me look at our schedule. I'll look at the schedule. Screw it. I said I wasn't going to do it, but well, I mean, like, I'm not going to count wins. That's what I mean.
You're not going to go win. Oh, we should win 20 in a row right now. Schedule. I'm bringing it up too. beef blitz. I don't think it's a scenario where people think Hassan is bad. Well, some people do. I take that back. But for us, Hassan is simply an expiring contract that can bring you back a star possibly if one becomes available because of how big his contract is. So if we're talking a guy like Blake Griffin or something like that, Whiteside is pretty much absolutely needed in a trade like that just because of the salaries matching up. Yeah. I can't hear you anymore.
I said yep. No, I wasn't. I forgot what I was gonna look up. What was I gonna look up? I was gonna look something up.
The schedule.
Oh yeah.
I got it if you need it.
So we got Bulls next, favored by 7.5 points. Clippers after 3 days of rest, which will be nice.
Then we got a 4-game.
Then we got the Kings at home, Lakers at home, Thunder at home, Knicks at home. So I'm not. I shouldn't count.
No,
we're playing better though. We're playing better. Okay, we're playing better. I'm not gonna count wins, but I'm just gonna say what I'm hopeful for, realistically, is to be 4-2 over those next 6 games. Right? Because there's 4 games in there we should win. Kings at home, Thunder at home, Knicks at home, Bulls at home. We just killed the Thunder at home. We just killed the Bulls on the road. You know what I mean? So it's in Knicks. The Knicks suck. We should at least win 3 of those next 6 games. But I expect 4-2. You know what I mean? Losing Lakers and Clippers. Maybe we can get one of those games and go 5-1. But 4-2 I think is pretty realistic. What would be then? 11-14. That's not all that bad.
That's what I said last post game that the Rockets were last year,
11 and 14, and then we'd have the Nuggets on the road, Suns on the road, Warriors at home, Magic at home, Timberwolves at home, Pelicans at home. I think there's a very, very good chance that we're at or maybe a game or 2 above 500 by the time the New Year rolls around. Assume if we keep playing like this, we'll be at least at 500 by the time the New Year rolls around. And if that's the case, man, then we're looking at Nurkic coming back within maybe a month, early February, maybe January, I expect. And our schedule isn't that hard. It's an average NBA schedule for January. There's a very, very easy stretch starting 2 games before the All-Star break to middle of March that we should rattle off a lot of wins. That's the thing, man. This upcoming stretch, I'm optimistic for. It'll be very important. We got a lot of home games, a lot of games we should win. And we're putting it together right now. That's the thing. That's the most important thing is we're playing a good brand of basketball. We're putting it together. So, yeah, man, I think things are looking up.
Everyone seemed, at least the guys who've been injured recently, Dame and Whiteside, seem to be moving a lot better tonight too, which is a good sign.
Yeah, for sure, man. And this game wasn't hard on Dame. He wasn't really taking any hits. You know what I mean? My mic keeps tipping over. So that's the thing is we're healthier. Hopefully we have good health, and I'm feeling pretty good right now, man.
My mom just texted me to say that it was cool when the crowd was chanting Melo.
It was cool. It was loud. It was dope, dude. I got chills when Mark Mason announced. Chills is a little bit of an over exaggeration. Let's just say that, but I kind of got chills when Mark Mason announced Carmelo Anthony's name in the starting lineup, just because I kind of imagined it for 3 years when we wanted Melo. You know what I mean? It was just kind of everything coming full circle with Mark Mason announcing Carmelo Anthony. It's just kind of unique. It's just kind of strange.
He seems like a good role model too. I mean, people always talked about him as being a bad locker room guy, even though I don't know why he got that reputation. But
chill, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seems to live up to his name. Seems a mellow.
Yeah. Yep.
So, we'll wrap it up unless there's anything else the chat wants to talk about. My voice is getting sore, so I'm going to give my voice a break. We had a podcast earlier today, so been streaming a lot today. Won our rec league championship yesterday. That was good.
Oh, congrats, man.
Yeah, man, it wasn't even. We won by 25.
Didn't you say you usually not choke, but you have a tough time finishing it
but
off.
we added a couple of solid players from
Oh, you
other
got some
teams.
ringers.
Yeah, I kind of
See,
took a backseat during the playoffs because I drive and I get doubled and I got shooters around me, so I literally just kick it out and these guys hit or they attack and guys don't really play help off of me. So I literally had like 13 points last night. I had a teammate with 30 something. I had another teammate with 30, and I had another teammate with like 25. And I had 11, and they don't count assists well, but I probably had like 10, 12 assists. Good defense, you know what I mean? Like I just took a back seat. But no, I literally hadn't. We have 4 seasons a year. Literally hadn't won one in like 8 seasons, 7, 8 seasons. Always team I had choked.
You had to pick up a Melo, huh?
Basically, well, here's the thing, man. I played with this team for a while, and we would all of us we'd struggle in playoffs. And 2 seasons ago, they all left me to go create their own team with like half of a team from another team in the rec league. You know what I mean? There's like it's almost like free agency in a way. So like they basically left me. I went and created my own team. 2 seasons later, that's the team I blew out in the championship game. So that was satisfying. Nice. You know what I mean? Cool.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like whenever I play with that team that I used to play with, man, I'd get doubled and kick out, and guys that are just great shooters that shot great all season long would for whatever reason in playoffs just wouldn't hit shots well. You know what I mean? So then I'd start forcing a lot, and it'd just become, me trying to go 1-on-2 and turn over the ball too much or whatever. Yesterday, dude, everybody was hitting basically everything, so I was just kicking out, and we were just money, like so. Nice. It was nice. But
Blazer 1994 is asking where
Lakeshore Athletic Club. About to get hopefully a job there and work their men's league. If I do get a job there though, Tuesday through Thursday, I'm not sure. Post game shows for home games it should be fine.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I'll have you. Eric will for post game shows that I can't start off with. I'll have Eric stream. I'll actually have Eric stream, and I'll have him stream his camera, and then I'll like call Eric once I can, and I'll hop on that stream. So that's the thing is I still want the stream to go live like right after a game. But like if we're playing on the road at 5:00 and end at 7:30, and I'm working till like 10, if I get that job, then Eric will stream for an hour and a half, however long he wants to, and that'll be the stream. You know what I mean? So still get you guys content, even though it might not be me, it might be Eric. It'll be a team effort. It would be cool to get the guys from Peeps and Plaid, like one or both of them on a post game show, or just get like different people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like kind of open this up a little bit more. It would be cool to get a couple guests with a $10 Patreon donation. So like I said earlier, if you guys want to guest appear, $10 donation to Patreon, we'll get that done for you. There's a link in the description. I plugged that. Got no new Patreon donators. That's the thing that I don't understand is people donate $10, which on YouTube it's like go donate $10 on Patreon instead. You can come on the channel. You know what I mean? Like I'm not complaining at all. I don't want to make it sound like that. That sounds bad. I'm just saying like I can't like it's hard to keep track, and I'm not allowed to give perks for super chats on YouTube. So like that's why I can't like be like, oh, you donated $10 in a super chat, then I'm gonna have you guest appear. That's why I can't do that. So that's why it's through Patreon. But people will donate like $10 through here and not through Patreon. It's like, damn, I don't know. It just kind of surprises me.
Kyle Campbell, what's up? He's asking what the best men's rec league in Portland is.
That's a question for you, not me.
There's a couple of decent leagues. There's always good competition in the Portland Basketball League. I play in a league in Hillsborough when I'm not injured, and that one surprisingly has some really good competition. A lot of guys that play college ball and stuff, so I really like the way that one is set up and organized and stuff. Yeah, I'm hoping to get back in the gym playing here in a month or two.
Yeah. Brian Scalabrini, yes, is a donation every month. It's like a monthly. It donates like so. If you donate $10 on Patreon, it'll donate you $10 automatically at the first of each month.
And just to be clear, you can donate money without doing it every month, just if you want the perks of.
Yeah. Like you donate $10 through there, I'll bring you on like once. If you donate like $10 a month, I'll try and give you an opportunity every month. That's the thing. We only have two. There's one guy donating $10 a month that I gotta give an opportunity to, and then like the YouTuber Reggie Coos. God, I forget how to say it because Vancouver is called the Couv and is spelled Couz. His name is, so I keep wanting to say Coos, but I heard him say Coos or something like that. So,
So Blazer 1994. He said he's planning on moving to Portland soon, jumping into a rec league. So the Portland Basketball League actually has what's called pick to play teams. So you just they have teams like I think 6 or 7 nights a week. And so you just like sign up and it's like $10 to $12 a game or something. And if you are quick enough and do it fast enough, you can get like on every game during the season. But you just play with whoever else signed up that day. And they usually try to keep it to like 6 or 7 guys. So there's not a bunch of subs or anything. So I would do that until usually you can meet people through there too. You know, you play against a lot of teams and then you could maybe find a team to join up with.
Yeah. I like my league, man, because it's 8 teams and it's the same people. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we got our rosters, the same people showing up Tuesday through Thursday, and sometimes you randomly see them at the gym. So like, and it's most of the people have been in there for like 5+ years. Some of the people have been in there for like 20 years. You know what I mean? There's like former college players and stuff. So like, almost everybody I play against, I like know all their tendencies. I know how they play. So like, sometimes teams will need like an extra player, or they'll want like a guy off the bench, and they'll ask for like subs, which are guys not on the roster that'll play for them. So like I like to try and sub and like play with guys, and then just like whenever I sub with guys since it's not my team, I always try and set guys up, feed them, get them shots, that type of thing. So I really like my league. It's $60 a month for the gym though, which is pretty expensive, and it's like a $200 initiation. I need to see if I can get some sort of affiliate deal with them, or if I get somebody to sign up, they can save a little bit and I can make a little bit of money. I don't know if they'll do that though.
Yeah. I'm going to type this out to you, Blazer 1994, because he said he missed it. And, oh, by the way, you should tell people your disclaimer.
What's the disclaimer?
So Tori's league, it plays in a small court with a 20-second shot clock, and it's 4-on-4.
It's not like a small court. Like width, it's not small at all. It's just like half court is like 10 feet past the 3-point line, if that makes sense. Like 10 to 12.
I'm just saying you gotta give them all the facts.
It's like a little bit shorter and shorter in terms of length, but it's not so short that like the 3-point lines are like all that close to each other. It doesn't really like feel that short. You know what I mean? Like, it's a decent, okay size. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a high school gym and you're playing like sideways across the main court, that's kind of like the length it is. Like not sideways across normal court. Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. Like they'll, you know, without the bleachers up, they'll have like hoops that will come down. That you can play sideways. It's longer than like the width of a normal court. I don't know if that's a good explanation. Whatever. You always like to hate on it though. Short court, bro. You love that court. It's like a perfect length for a rec league in my opinion. But yeah, it's 4-on-4, 26.
What I'm saying, you play 4-on-4. It's not real basketball.
How's it not real basketball?
Real basketball is 5-on-5.
But like you're talking about, it's still everything's still the same. The way you play is still the same, bro.
But I'm saying it can't be like it'll never be as good as an actual league that plays.
I think for
like
rec leagues, 4-on-4 is just as good as 5-on-5. It does not feel like you're down a man. There's enough people on the court where it doesn't feel like it makes a difference. And when you're talking about like rec league players, like some of them won't be able to like shoot all that well. Like for spacing purposes, it's perfect. Because trust me,
we'll just have to agree to disagree on this one.
I'd come there and I'd run your damn rec league, bro. I'd run your rec league.
I didn't say you wouldn't. I'm just saying I prefer to play 5-on-5 like real basketball is, not 4-on-4.
I honestly think you'd really enjoy my rec league, bro. For as much as you hate on it, the aspects that you hate on, I actually think like if you like tried it and played it, you'd actually like the aspects.
I would love playing in it. I agree. I would like it. I'm just saying it would never be a real game to me. It would always be kind of like like playing in a 3-on-3 tourney isn't the same as a real
Four on
game,
four
and neither
feels
is
more like
4-on-4.
5-on-5 than 3-on-3. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
How did I meet Eric?
All right.
I met Eric on a forum.
Good night, Blazer 1994. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, he retracted that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
Hey, yeah. I haven't. Maybe I missed something. I see your comment, Eric. Yeah, don't feel bad for not donating, man. I'm not asking for anything. That's the thing. Is like it's hard to like plug it without being like, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't saying like,
yeah,
I wasn't trying to make anybody feel bad. It's just like I think it's funny how people will donate like $10 super chat and not be interested in Patreon. Which if you do, that's completely fine. Like I'm not complaining at all. The super chats are cool. I like the colored bar that comes up. It's all colorful. I like it makes me feel good. I like the super chat. I like being able to like read it out and shout it out on stream and that type of thing. So I understand, super chats are cool. I just find it interesting that a lot of people like would rather do that instead of donate to Patreon and like come on the channel, because I always figure like, okay, coming on the channel would be something that people want to do. I don't know. I just find that interesting. I don't know. That's just
it's great that people tune in. Like there's so many guys in chat that I don't want to name them all because I don't want to miss anyone. But like there's so many people who are here for like every one of our podcasts.
So that's the thing.
And
like,
chat
it's
and
not,
stuff. That's cool.
Don't feel bad. Don't ever feel bad for not donating or anything like that. I would hate to make you feel bad for that. Like it's not about that. You know what I mean? It's about this community.
Right.
It's about this content. You know what I mean? Like it's helpful. It helps me out, and it's just a way you can show some support to show. It's a way. It's basically like a huge like thank you to me. You know what I mean? Like that's which I know you guys love the content anyway. I don't know. It's like it's hard to explain it. Maybe you guys would explain it better, but don't feel bad at all whatsoever. Like you guys coming in here and supporting this and your engagement and all that is all like is more than enough. It's more than enough. Like the engagement and all that, the support is what I love the most. It's not about I'll still plug it, just to give you guys the opportunity to support me, but I'm not like saying, oh yeah, you better donate or anything like that. Hell no.
Right. And yeah, we met on a forum. We kind of hit it off since we had a lot of similar takes and have similar views on Blazers and the NBA and drafting and stuff like that.
Basically, we're smart.
And then,
just kidding.
And then, so pretty soon after we met on there, found out about the forum like 3-on-3 team, and then so I said I wanted to be a part of that, and then we started practicing and stuff like that, and so yeah.
Yep. I just had a rumor come across my my phone notifications saying that the Mavericks might end up trading for Andre Iguodala. They have Courtney Lee, which I think they can trade straight up for him, because I don't believe they're in the tax, and I believe their contracts are within $5 million at that point, and they have extra second-round picks. And that would be a decent, like, he'd be a pretty good fit with them, because they have a lot of shooting, and Iguodala's not the best shooter. They have a lot of shooting. They don't really have like a big, long defender like that. I guess Dorian Finney-Smith is kind of like that, but not, he's not that good. So Iguodala would actually be a really good fit with them. Be really interesting.
Would you rather have Bazemore or Courtney Lee?
Bazemore. Courtney Lee has fallen off a cliff in terms of his production. I don't see him being any
I was
better
just
offensively than Bazemore, and I think Bazemore's a better defender at this point. And Bazemore's a little bit like lanky, like he's a little bit bigger and longer, so he's a better small forward option.
Without looking it up, I think Lee is about $6 million less. So I was just wondering if they would do that if it worked out money wise.
Courtney Lee is too undersized to play small forward, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And Bazemore's
I was just thinking about from a financial position to save some money off the tax so we could sign someone with that 15th spot.
Yeah, I feel like a more realistic option would be like a Marvin Williams, and you play Melo or Nasir with some 3. I don't know. There's probably a small forward out there that you could look at making like $15 million, maybe like a Marcus Morris or something like that. I don't know, but not like a Courtney Lee. He's just too small to play small forward.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing the trade talk video, or I'm trying to do one. I thought that would be the easiest one for me to start with.
I was planning on doing the first one just to kind of show you, like, I mean, you kind of understand the format, but the format you'd roll with.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can combine on them. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But Eric wants to do the trade talk stuff. Eric loves his trade talk, so that'll be we'll see how he does.
Can we get Aminu back? I don't want Aminu back at this point.
I think Draymond Green would be a good fit for our Blazers. Yeah, in a way. In some regards, yeah.
He can't be traded till February 3rd, though, so it's not an option right now. That'd be an interesting trade for the Mavericks, though, if they got Iguodala. In case you guys didn't hear, Memphis is saying they're absolutely not going to buy him out, so he's stuck on the team, which I wouldn't buy him out either, considering he does have a little bit of trade value as a vet to some of those teams, like the Mavericks.
Yeah. Courtney Lee and like a couple second-round picks for Iguodala makes so much sense for both teams.
Yeah.
That's the best offer the Memphis Grizzlies will get. They're not going to get a first-round pick, which is apparently what they're asking for. Iguodala's not worth a first-round pick unless it's a team that's like trading a bad contract. You know what I mean? Like maybe like the Timberwolves, if they're making the playoffs, maybe they trade their first-round pick and like Gorgie Jang to help shed Gorgie Jang's contract as well, and then get a piece. Right. You know, like there have to be more value than just getting Andre Iguodala. There'd have to be value elsewhere somehow, whether it's giving up a contract, whether it's getting something else back with Iguodala. Like Iguodala's not enough on his own to get a first-round pick. Which is like how you should explain it in like the trade talk. You know what I mean? Like help people understand like the value of certain players in a way.
The funniest part about that too is Memphis got a first round pick just for taking him. I know they didn't have to give up. They had the cap space to absorb him, and that's why they got the first. But if they got a first for getting him and for trading him, like that's crazy. Like that's the kind of stuff like I try to think of how to do.
Yeah.
But, it never really works out in real life that well.
Yeah. The thing is that the Golden State Warriors had to trade his salary because they had to get under the hard cap in order to sign and trade for D'Angelo Russell.
Oh no,
I'm just explaining to the people. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know you understand. You know your CBA and stuff. So if you bring somebody in a sign and trade, so like the Warriors brought in D'Angelo Russell via sign and trade, traded Kevin Durant for him basically straight across. Then your salary has to be under a certain point for the rest of the season. That level is $138 million. That's called like a hard cap. It's not there for every other team. It's only like there if you do certain things. It's whether if you use the full mid-level exception instead of the taxpayer, it establishes that hard cap. If you bring somebody in a sign and trade, it establishes that hard cap, and that hard cap is $6 million more than the luxury tax. Luxury tax like $132 million. Hard cap's like $138 million, $138.5 million. The thing is, Portland was over that. That's why they didn't have their full mid-level exception this past summer, because their payroll is so high, it's past that point, so they couldn't use their full mid-level exception because they would have been past the hard cap. So the Warriors, to bring in D'Angelo Russell, had to make sure that their salary could get below $138 million and stay that way for the rest of the season. That's why they had to trade Iguodala. That's why they traded him so fast. We're like, fine, we'll give up a first-round pick just to get rid of his contract, just so we can bring in D'Angelo Russell and get below that hard cap that gets established by signing trading for Russell. So that is why that's the situation there. Another team that's hard capped is the Miami Heat, who are like only $3 million below that hard cap because they signed and traded for Jimmy Butler. So that makes them like trading for a Chris Paul or trading for other players harder than it otherwise would be, and they don't have a lot of their picks. So I don't see Miami ended up making a move, even though they've been rumored and attached to a lot of people.
I looked this up the other day. So they, according to the rules, they cannot trade a first-round pick this year, and then they have one second-round pick in 2022. That's like the least favorable between Denver and some other good team, and that's the only pick they can trade. All their other second-round picks through 2026 have been traded
you can
already.
Trade picks for up to 6 years in advance.
Seven. I think.
Seven.
Yeah.
Like I look at it like 6 because like this year's draft is 2020, and then like they could trade them up to 2026. So I guess 7.
7 draft. So I just looked it up. So Courtney Lee makes $12.7 million this year.
17.19.
17.1. Yeah. So
I'm on top of it, bro.
that would that would save almost 4.5 million for the Grizzlies, and so if they got a second round pick on top of that, since
Yeah.
Iguodala isn't playing at all, I mean that's a pretty good move for them. And then Dallas is hard capped too, but they're down at about 120 million in salary, so that extra 4 million wouldn't put them in danger of
Yeah, there's
anything like
different
that.
rules
So,
for matching salary depending on whether you'd be over or under the tax following the trade. If you'd be over the tax, you can only
right.
bring in 125% of what you're sending out. If you're under the tax, there's like different levels. But in Dallas's case, they could bring up to 5 million back in the trade, which is why that $12.7 million Courtney Lee contract would match Andre Iguodala's $17.1 million contract. So, yeah, so that'd be a good trade for both teams. That's what I honestly think will happen. I think Iguodala will end up playing in Dallas soon. Just makes so much sense in the world from both standpoints, from the fit of Iguodala. Courtney Lee's an expiring contract. He's a guy who's played in Memphis before. He's a solid veteran. They don't really have that much wing depth. So Lee might play there. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
For sure. I love hearing rumors.
For sure, man.
I heard a couple other rumors that I was talking about in the video.
Yeah.
Whenever I figured out.
So yeah, when you do those trade talk videos, man, just like try and explain it. That's the thing, is since it's a recording, you can make sure it's like you're explaining it like quickly and efficiently while also explaining it everywhere. That's kind of like the challenge there.
Right.
Because that's the thing, man. Like those trade talk videos, we'll talk about all your trade suggestions. You know, Eric will do some of those videos for sure, at least some of them. We'll talk about your trade ideas. You know, we'll go into depth on them. That'll be entertaining. But we'll also try and like help like further educate the viewer base in a way. Some of you might not need it. Some of you might be, completely well versed on trade talk and rules and that type of thing. But we want to like quickly be able to like help educate the fan base a little bit in terms of like some trade rules, in terms of like, okay, this, matching salary, just that type of thing, like what certain guys are worth, what teams might be looking for trade wise, so that by the time the trade deadline rolls around, like, we'll be the viewer base will be educated and like kind of know what to possibly expect and know how to kind of like analyze, okay, was that a good trade for a team, even if it doesn't include the Blazers, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the goal there.
Adam versus Eve, good night, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, see you, man.
Thanks for watching. And then I already feel like a lot of the trade talk has already gotten better in just a few weeks. There isn't a lot of people like saying, "Oh, trade CJ for like someone on a rookie deal or something." Like
that's the thing we see. That's the thing is, there will probably be a segment in that trade talk video, trades that don't work, and we'll have that'd be a funny segment to start off with, like CJ for a rookie level contract, and
clown horrible,
not even clown, just be like, this trade doesn't work because such and such team, because this doesn't match salary. You're talking about, you just go into like quickly why it doesn't work, and that'll be like examples of trade ideas that don't work. So that'll be the challenge for the viewer base, is come up with trade suggestions that are possible under the CBA that you think would be good for both teams, and if they are, then you talk about trade suggestions and why it might work, and why might both teams take it, or why it's not a good idea for one of the teams, and then maybe suggest some alternatives or that type of thing. That's how the trade talk videos will work. They'll be a good product in my opinion. And Eric knows his stuff, so I'm sure like he'll put together a good video. I want to hear him with his like recording voice, get his recording voice down, because it's a little different than the podcast voice. Those of you guys have listened to me enough can probably tell the difference between my video recording voice and my podcast voice, just kind of the way I deliver things. I try to be a little bit more commanding and like I don't know how to explain it, like a little bit more like confident and like authoritative almost, to like when I record a video. Maybe not authoritative, maybe that's not the right word, just like commanding the attention, you know what I mean? Like, and I have like a specific rhythm that I like to get down in terms of the way I talk and like where my pauses are, that type of thing. Yeah. CJ for Christ Paul. Christ Paul. Oh man. So alrighty, my voice getting sore. So unless there's anything else you want to cover,
Do you ever go to tradenba.com?
No.
People can post like their trade suggestions, and it's just pages of like Damian Lillard trades and stuff. It's like, dude, go away.
Hey, he can't even be traded this year, right?
No, he can't be traded this year, but people.
Man. And he's not. He wouldn't get traded anyway. So that's the thing, is we'll be trying to help our viewer base, our fan base, be more educated than the normal NBA fans. We'll be the smart people over here, learning. In an entertaining way. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
What a joke. Damian Lillard to the Lakers. Danny Green to the Pistons, and we get Caldwell Pope, Tim Frazier, Langston Galloway, Thon Maker, Kuzma, Horton Tucker, and a 2026 first round pick from the Lakers and a 2021 from Detroit.
Damn, for 2 first round picks of Kuzma and a bunch of garbage. Are you kidding me, bro?
Yeah. But that's all it is.
Wait, who are the Pistons getting?
Danny Green.
For a first round pick?
And Frazier, Galloway, and Thon Maker. Yeah. That's one of those where they just needed like another first round pick because there's no way we do that, but they don't.
Dame photoshopped in a Lakers jersey today on like this different account. Goddamn Laker fans, man! You guys aren't. Does that even match salary for him? Did they at least match salary? I think they at least matched salary because you got Danny Green and Kuzma and a bunch of like all that filler. Probably match salary. At least they match salary. But come on, man. That's Laker fans for you.
It's so hard to weed out like the good trade offers on this site.
that's Laker fans for you. Siakam, CJ for Siakam. I wish Siakam is on a poison pill contract, correct?
Yeah, it's the same thing because people were hinting that Dejounte Murray was going to get traded too, and he just signed an extension, so he's on a poison pill as well.
So if you have an extension kicking in, like. Say like Siakam, his extension kicks in next season, then his salary this season with his salary next season doesn't it get averaged and then it counts as like outgoing salary but not incoming salary? What I forget exactly what it is.
His outgoing salary for the Spurs is only like $3 million or whatever his contract is this year. Yeah, and then
his incoming salary for another team.
If like Miami was trading for him, which was the rumor, they'd have to. Incoming salary would count as $15 million. So like a team like that's in the tax, there's no way to make that work. Like because you have to have a team that's either under the cap or find a way to do multiple trades where a team's getting way more money than that's coming in or whatever.
So like hypothetically, let me illustrate why guys on poison pill contracts, so like DeJounte Murray, Pascal Siakam, are really hard to orchestrate a trade around because their outgoing salary for their team is different than the incoming salary for another team. So like if hypothetically, let's say a guy on a poison pill contract, a team's trying to trade for him, his incoming salary might be $25 million. So the team trading for him has to send out around $25 million. But for the other team who's trading away the player on that poison pill contract, his contract might only be worth $3 million, but they'd have to take back $25 million. So, like, it doesn't match salaries on their end. You know what I mean? So you can't, like, line up it's really hard to line up a trade package that satisfies, both those salary numbers that are being used for one player, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
and that only counts for like the rookie extension. So like CJ and Dame and those guys, if they were tradable right now, would only count as whatever their salary is right now. It's a little different for those. But those, when you sign a supermax, you're not eligible to be traded for a year. So Dame's not eligible to be traded till July, and that would never happen anyway. And we just have to be thankful that we have a star that's willing to stay in Portland for his career. Yeah. But yeah, so CJ, the way his contract works, since it wasn't a supermax, he's not available to be traded for, I think it's 6 months. So
yeah, and that's the thing. You don't need to like know all like those fine details to really know like trade stuff. You know, it's more like, okay, what players are on poison pill contracts? Like Siakam, that's not a realistic trade target for pretty much anybody because of his poison pill contract and how much he's going to be making next year. So his incoming salary and outgoing salary are like $20 million different or something like that. But
Joe Mama's asked about Serge Ibaka as someone that Torrey really likes and would want to get, but I don't see Toronto with how well they're playing making any moves like that.
Toronto would have needed to be like a borderline playoff team or something like that, and would have wanted maybe.
And see, that's why.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I said that before the season, that I thought if they struggled at the beginning, they could trade a bunch of those guys, but then before the season started, they signed Lowry to a 1-year extension for like $30 million or something, which is crazy. And then I just don't see them trading Gasol and Ibaka and those type of guys.
Makes too much sense for like just because his passing and his floor spacing works really well in their offense. But Serge Ibaka, I liked him.
And he shut down Embiid.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka I liked because he's like a center, but he could also play some power forward, a little bit of power forward. You know what I mean? He's not like Whiteside, who's strictly a center. Like, so getting a guy like Serge Ibaka to be our starting center could provide us some of the same things Whiteside does, some rim protection, and, you know, maybe a little bit more shot making because Ibaka's a little bit more of a 3-point shooter. But then once Nurkic comes back, it would still make sense to have Ibaka on the roster because he could play next to Nurkic a little bit. You know what I mean? Or he could be the backup center as well. So just the fit was better. And he was an expiring contract he's making like $23 million a year. Whiteside's making 27, so we'd save just a little bit of money, but he's still an expiring contract, so it's the same kind of situation. That's why I like Ibaka as a target, but I don't think it's realistic that the Raptors end up trading him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
So, we should trade CJ for Daryl Morey's China watch views. Oh man.
So yeah.
Trade CJ for Bernie Sanders. All right, we're getting into the third hour of the podcast. This is what it's turning into. So my voice is getting sore. Is the Serge Ibaka similar to Zach Collins? In a way, yeah. Serge Ibaka's 3-point shot has fallen off, but he's kind of like a rim protector that can shoot a bit. But he's obviously a veteran. He's a much more established player than Zach Collins. But anyway, my voice is killing me, guys. So I'm gonna log off.
Thank everyone for watching.
Great win tonight for the Blazers. Very fun game. Melo killed it once again. Blazers are looking a lot better, playing a lot better brand of basketball. We'll have your Friday. Today was Wednesday. Yeah, we'll have your Friday podcast. We'll have your Friday post-game show. We got the Bulls again in Portland. That's a game we should definitely win. And then we have a 3-day layoff. So that's what's coming up next. We'll probably get a trade talk video out. I don't know. Me and Eric are kind of coordinating on that, and then I might have a quick hitter or two to put out. Something about Rodney Hood probably, and probably a little video about Melo. Since we only have one game in the next 5 days, might get a couple other videos out. But that's the plan. So anyway.
And have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
For sure. I keep forgetting. Thanksgiving tomorrow. It's 11:57 right now. Wow. So Thanksgiving 3 minutes from now, I guess. So hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys enjoy the feast. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely be eating to my heart's content tomorrow. But yeah, so have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys on Friday. As always, for me and Eric, peace out. Go Blazers.